ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን። እቺን ቀን ቀድሶ ለሰጠን እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን። እቺን ቀን ቀድሶ ለሰጠን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን። እቺን ቀን ቀድሶ ለሰጠን እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን። እቺን ቀን ቀድሶ ለሰጠን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን ለዚህ ያደረሰን ከያለንበት ሰብስቦ ለዚህ ያደረሰን እሺ እንደማላችሁ Okay, hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. And we really appreciate you using your time to be here for us. And first of all, I want to introduce myself. My name is Brooke. I have a 7th grade and a 5th grade student. And today I am hosting with FECW this program. Every 2 months, we have a program designed to exchange idea with parents as well as with kids to help in our religion, culture, education program. So today's program is a part of this program. Today's idea is brought by Teddy, everything. Especially thanks goes to him. And he is the one actually organized everything today, including the best flyer and our calendar and everything. Could you please appreciate Teddy for everything he done? I really appreciate it. Today we have this respectful guest who will share their experience and their insight for college all the way to special view and everything. Hopefully, for all of us, will help us to apply for college and going to high school students, as well as parents preparing the kids. So I would love to pass the mic from Casis Nabiyu and all of us to introduce ourselves. And thank you again.
Damnataracho. I don't speak English. So you gotta understand how I'm using. So as you can see, our panel is sitting from the left side to the right. We try to divide them into our 3 groups. The first group being students that are still currently in college. And the second group being students that I guess not students, but people that have already completed college and currently in the working force. And I'll give chances to them to, I guess, introduce themselves. But to start with me, I guess, Casis Nabiyu, as you all know, I have completed my college degree and I'm currently working as an electrical engineer. And I'm currently hosting the program, so I'm not going to be answering any questions, but I'll be asking. Okay, so don't ask me anything. And I'll start with Rahid. So I don't know if you want to call it ascending or descending order, but this is college, and then we go on to the graduates.
Hi everybody, my name is Rahil Galay. I'm a pre-med student.
Hey everyone, Sumedia Guanadazano. I am a senior neuroscience student at Macalester College in St. Paul, Minnesota.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonas Gabriselasi. I'm a third year college. Jonas Gabriselasi. I'm a third year college student, pre-med and bio major.
Hi everybody, my name is Ilyas Elwan. I'm a third year at University of Peterstown, business major and minor in communications.
Hello everyone, this is Macias. I graduated from San Francisco State by civil engineering in 2017, and currently I'm working as a transportation engineer in California State Department.
Hi, my name is Ruth. I graduated from UC Davis with a bachelor's in science in global disease biology and public health, and I currently work in a biotech company as a program and logistics manager.
Hi everyone, my name is Malekta. I did my undergraduate degree in the University of Northern Iowa. I finished in finance with a major in actuarial science, and I'm currently working as a financial analyst in Comcast and BC Universal.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonas. I graduated from University of California, Berkeley as a Master of Development Engineering, majoring in environment and sustainability, and I am working as a program manager at international organization which is WCAG.
So I am a physician, specifically pediatrician. I graduated from medical school in 2014 from the University of Vermont, and I'm currently a neonatal hospitalist at Off the Beats. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for the panelists to actually show up and accepting our invitation. So next we're going to go to physician or Dr. Mara White, and she's going to take us and I guess explain, or she's going to take us to her journey of becoming a physician, right? We're going to give her some time to give us some idea of what took from her, right? What took place, and how college life was, and how physician life is currently, right, for her. So I'm gonna hand to Mara White, and she's gonna give us some words.
Thank you so much for the opportunity and for inviting me to this great program. I do want to say that you should all feel quite lucky to have this kind of session organized for you to kind of plan out your life well in advance, because a lot of us didn't get this chance, so we went in blind. So I do want to say that first. Then to kind of take you through my journey. I immigrated from Ethiopia to America when I was 19, so right out of high school. So coming here was not just a change in place, but also a culture shock, right? Language too, I had to learn that. So I started out, my parents thought maybe starting from high school would be a better way to start and to acclimate and to immerse myself in the new American life. But unfortunately, they wouldn't take me because I've already graduated. So I had to find another way to start, my student life, and community college was the first place I went to, and only because it's smaller and it would have been a better way to immerse myself. I started in community college, went there for 2 years, then graduated from there and transferred to a University of Washington up in Seattle. There I was pre-med and completed that, my degree in microbiology. Then I took a year off and did research in an immunology lab. And during that time is when I did my application for medical school. And then I went all the way to Vermont from Seattle, where it's really cold. Don't go there. So I went there, did medical school for 4 years, and I matched to for residency at Children's Oakland. A lot of you know it. So I did my residency in pediatrics there. After I finished residency, I was offered a job at Alta Bates NICU to work as a neonatal hospitalist, and I've been there since 2017 as an attending physician there. I think that's my journey, so if there's any questions I can answer that I don't know if there were.
Okay. Okay. So thank you, Madam White, for sharing her experience. What Brooke is going to do is she's going to pass out no paper during the whole session. I guess if you have any questions, you may write your questions, right? It could be anonymous. If you want to write your name, you're perfectly fine, right? But if you have any questions, please do so. And then once the program is done, we'll collect them and then we'll try to answer your questions, in the due time. Okay. Thank you, Madam White, for sharing your experience. It's a quite educated experience. So the next, I'm going to jump to the panelists and we're going to start asking them questions. We already have like 12 or 15 questions prepared for them, and we believe asking these questions would cover all the gaps and doubts you may have for college and the application of college. Okay. And I'm going to start with, okay, I'm going to start with Diakon Lazar. So the first question goes to you, and the first question is, what actually motivated you to actually pursue college? Why did you decide to, do your degree, and why did you decide to go to Minnesota, and why college? What's the need for it?
Thank you, Kasis Nabiu. I'll start with why I moved to Minnesota. When applying to college, so I wanted to apply to in-state schools, and the scholarship program I was in high school called Achieve, some of the guys are in that now, required that I applied out of state, and for that reason, I had to look at out-of-state schools. I looked at Minnesota because one of my college counselors told me that her daughters went there. She told me the great experience they had at Macalester College. It's in the cities, it's not in Gazab, like where Yoni goes. It's just in the countryside. So I'm in the city, so that's easy for me. It's mobile, church is close. And it also had a great neuroscience program. I was on the track team there for my first 2 years. And those are not the main reasons why. To answer the question of why I wanted to pursue higher schooling and educate in college, I'm a first-gen student in my family, and now getting a degree would mean more job opportunities to be able to support myself and my family in the future. And Ziadagan, more opportunities selalan, belum saya lagi opportunity selalan. Bagi syarikat Zalai saya derasan, ia tamaran, adalah, and I hope that answers the question.
I think this question goes to Elias. Can you share your journey as a first generation college student? What will be your experience
I didn't think that was gonna be for me, but as a first generation, it's kind of difficult to where I'm at right now. It's a minority white school. It's a different culture than what we're used to here. Everybody loves each other. Everybody shows much gratitude and respect. But out there, it's kind of not you gotta earn it, but you gotta kind of come from, I guess they're kind of same background that they come from to have the kind of respect that they'll show you. So being in that school is kind of not difficult, but hard to, I don't know, like communicate with them because they're very much used to a different culture and like perspective in life. So that's kind of difficult, but yeah, that's what it's like.
Thank you, Didier. So the third question, I guess I want to give it to the opponents of the panel, that is Jonas and Karajan. And I have my own reason for that, and I'll explain that later on. But what challenge did you face, and how did you actually work on those challenges while in college?
One challenge I faced was not being able to go to church. Our church was about an hour away, and there wasn't any transportation to church, so the only thing I could do was probably just do my own prayers for the Sabbath, listen to Mazmur while missing church and stuff like that. That's the biggest challenge I've had.
Yeah, me too. And anyways, Uzbekistan is like a 5-minute walk from me. It's actually really close and that's convenient. I guess the biggest challenge spiritually would be being consistent. Uzbekistan is like going consistently. And then I guess just the general challenge is balancing consistency, katsarut, and spirituality, and social life, balancing challenge and then instrument.
Okay. So the reason I asked this question is because I feel like religion is important and we do care about church and the church life. I can share my own experience too, and as Jonas was saying, when I was going to college, church was not close. I actually had to drive 2 hours if I wanted to go to church. So I would, what I would do is I would go to the library and I would be thinking about, Qasis Mullah and Mikhail is doing this now, Rob we're doing Mazmur right now, right? That is what I would imagine on Sundays, because it was very, very difficult. But another question I want to add in this though is, I feel like spiritual life itself becomes very hard because you are not in the same environment as you are, right? So fasting is not easy anymore, bro. What I would say is, once you are, right now you're in high school, so you go back to your family's house. The family's cooking, vegetarian food, so you can eat, right? You can eat at home, and you're still doing fasting. But once you move to college, I believe those colleges that are not very accustomed to having, immigrants come to their place, they don't understand what vegan food is, they don't understand what vegetarian is, and they don't really actually try to accommodate you, right? So it was difficult. On fasting periods, there may be sometimes you won't be able to find any food on campus dinings that is okay for fasting or that is vegan, right? And it was a very difficult challenge, and some of you do share this experience with me too, but there were some days that we did not have, a good meal, right? We chose to fast and we would eat crackers, and that would be the day for us, right? And I feel like that needs to be said, and I feel like that is something you would be going to if you actually move out of state, or if you're going to the Minnesota and such states, I guess. And I want to ask Diakon Lazar and Jonas again, if fasting was difficult or is currently challenging, how are you managing to do that, and prayer and everything too?
I'm going to say that it was very challenging fasting in college, since just like you said that being in high school, you get to go back to your mother or father's house, there's a cooked meal, you get to eat that, and then you go on about your day. But then in college, you're going to have to look for food that doesn't have any dairy or anything that you can actually eat. And sometimes you just won't like it, or it just will taste bad or something like that. But at the end of the day, it's better to not give us like there's a bigger grace coming for us from God. while doing that?
For me personally, it wasn't as much of a challenge. There were definitely days where the vegetarian and the vegan options weren't as good. ስለዚህ the only challenge is choosing to do some or not. Sometimes I call Leonie, he's an hour away from me, and he tells me all I had was a bowl of rice. There's been days where I call him and he says that. ስለዚህ እሱ ደግሞ, like I said, he's not really in the city, and that's a thing to consider when you apply to college. Do you wanna on your fit factor list? Do you wanna see if it's near a church? If there's a good Ethiopian community out there? These are all important things. They may not seem as important now, but it's important to look into that. And also, being in a city, especially in a city at a Medin, like going to a college in the Midwest somewhere without much access can feel pretty hard. So personally, I was able to go into the city and find vegan food, find even ሰዎች ሰው ቤት እየሄዱ መብላት አንዳንድ ቤተክርስቲያን ሰዎች ጋር you gotta do what you gotta do. ስለዚህ ከቤተክርስቲያን በኋላ making friends with people, it's a good community. Talking to people helps a lot. Yeah, that's it. Fasting, yeah.
Alright, so I want to extend the question to, I guess, all the panelists. If you want to share your experience, how did you overcome this kind of challenges, especially focusing on church life, right? So, you go on, yeah, please, why not?
Can I speak in Amharic to feel comfortable? Yeah. ፋስቲንግ ምናምን ትንሽ በጣም ይከብድ ነበር። እኔ ጋር ስፔሻሊ ደግሞ ምንም አይነት ሀበሻ የለም። ኢትስ ኦል ኦቨር ቱ ፍሎሪዳ ኢን ኦርላንዶ እና ምንም ሀበሻ የለም እና አም ድራይቪንግ 1 hour ቱ ጋር እንጀራ ሮብና አርብ sometimes I forget like ሮብ መሆኑን እና አርብ መሆኑን because I'm so busy. ሳንዴ እረሳዋለሁ ሳንዴ መሆኑን እና ማስታውሰው እዚህ ስደውል ነው እና I feel like እኔ አሜሪካን ሆኜ እናንተ ኢትዮጵያ ያላችሁ ላይፍ መኖር ይመስለኛል ማለት ነው። እና like I have a nice friends like Jamaican አፍሪካዎች ናቸው ብዙ ያሉት እና መጀመሪያ ሲጀምር የነገርኳቸው ነገር አለ። እኔ ኦርቶዶክስ ነኝ። በዛ ላይ ደግሞ ሮብና አርብ እኔ መብላት አልችልም። ምንም አይነት ሚት ምንም አይነት ሚልክ ነገር አብረን ከኔ ጋር ጆይን ሲያደርጉ እኔን እንዳያሳስቱኝ ምንም ነገር በቃላል መጀመሪያ የምታስይዟቸውን ነገር ነው ጓደኞቻችሁን የሚይዙት ስለናንተ ማለት ነው። እና ልክ ሮብ እና አርብ ስፔሻሊ ፍራይዴይስ ላይክ ብዙ እንደምታውቁት ክላስ የለም ብዙ ፍራይዴይ ላይ እና እንወጣለን እንበላለን ምናምን ነገር እና በዛ ሰዓት እኔ እንደማልበላ ስለሚያውቁ ቪግን ነገሮች ነው የሚያዙልኝ እኔ እንኳን በረሳ ማለት ነው። ኦልሬዲ ስለነገርኳቸው from the beginning አሁን ላሉት ነገር የምነግራችሁ ፈርስት ኢምፕሬሽን ነው እነሱን የሚስባቸው የእናንተም ነገር የሚይዙትም ፈርስት ላይ የምታሳያቸውን ነገሮች ናቸው እና be careful like እናንተ ስትሄዱ እነሱን ስታገኛችሁ እውነተኛ ማንነታችሁ እውነተኛ የክርስቲያን ልጅ መሆናችሁ ማሳየት አለባችሁ። if you didn't show them that time and then you're losing your everything there like everything ጋችሁ ሉዝ ታደርጋላችሁ። ለዛ መጀመሪያ ጓደኛ ስትመርጡ you have to tell them like ሮብና አርብ ምግብ መብላት እንደማትችሉ ሪሊጂን ፐርሰን መሆናችሁ ምናምን። እኔ ዶርም ውስጥ የእመቤታችን ምስል አለ እና ልክ ስገባ ምንም አይነት ፋይናል ኤግዛም ሲሆን እኔ እመቤታችንን ሳልሳለም በፍጹም ከዶርሜ አልወጣም እና አንድ ቀን አስታውሳለሁ ባስ ይጠብቀን እና ይዞ ነው የሚሄደው አለ ሁላችንም ማለት ነው እና እመቤታችንን ሳልሳለም ወጣውና ሮጬ ስመለስ you know what they say she's a Mary girl ሜሪ ልትሳለም ሄደችው አሉ ሁሉም ማለት ነው ባስ ሳውቁብኝ ምናምን እና ላይክ የመጀመሪያ ነገራችሁ ነው ሁሉም ሰው ዩኒቨርሲቲ ውስጥ ፍሬንዳችሁን ይዘው እና show them who you are መጀመሪያ
That's very, very good. I believe that actually has its own reward from God, right? Being called, oh, this is God's child, right? Being called, oh, this is Mary's child. That's beautiful by itself. No? Do that, Don't hide yourself. Tell them you are an Orthodox. Tell them you are a Christian. Okay? Thank you, Ryan, for that. And I'm gonna pass to the graduated ones now, so who are done with college. How did you manage this when you were in college? And that can go to you, Miki, or Ruth, or Maggie, or
Church and religion?
I was so lucky. I was in SF State, so I can go any church. I can get any vegan food available. So I think that doesn't apply to me.
I was close to churches, but I didn't go as often as I should have. Just to be honest, yeah, I was very busy. I think I prioritized my school more than God, which I wish I didn't, because you can have it hand in hand, and God is better than, obviously, more than school. So that's how things work. But I believe I made a mistake on that end, and I did come to church here every so often. But I feel like it was very challenging to time manage your work, to time manage your relationship with people here. I feel like I forgot a bunch of people, or when I came back, it was just a whole generation of people from here. Then so it was really difficult. But I tried my best, and my advice would be to put God first, no matter what. And like I said, make sure you tell people around you who you are, where you're from, what you do, and what you're about, so they don't even try to challenge you, and they just accept the boundaries and go on. Right, thank you. So most of the challenges that I faced were similar to Ms. Cassis, because we both went to the same school, and we were away, I think, 3 hours from the nearest church, which was in Rochester, Minnesota. And so that was a little challenging. You were more dedicated to going to church than I was, so I'll be honest with that. But yeah, so that went pretty. That was one of the challenging things that I remember. In addition to having like vegan food, vegetarian food, and all of that. But yeah, so we have similar challenges, so nothing new here.
For me, I would say it's similar with my brother and sisters, but I came here, like I have no family here, so I stayed in dorm, and so I can cook. So there was a time that I only eat bread, like double chocolate, and I stayed the whole days. Then, yeah, always I remember my family back then. Then I would like say this is sacrification, like for my family, እንደዛ ብዬ አስባለሁ እና it gave me strength. እና sometimes, as Riley said, firstly, I told my friend that I'm Christian, that I am fasting on Wednesday and Fridays. Then even I forget, my friend just remind me. በዛ I keep the religion, እንዴት ነው fasting ብረሳ እንኳን ሮብና ዓርብን they keep remind me, oh, today is Wednesday or Friday. Then I will keep remind myself. Yeah, every time there would be a challenge, but strong ለመሆን ነው።
This question goes for everyone, and you can answer by adding any opinion about yourself. So, what resource were the most helpful during your college application process?
Something I did was like talk to professors, keep in contact during like the whole 4 year of high school. And another thing I did was talk to Nabiru, because he wrote one of my recommendations for college, which helped me out a lot. I guess that's it for me.
For the college application process, I was part of the Achieve Scholarship Program in high school. Like I mentioned, some of the Diakonath here are in that program as well. Another college access program, Nacho, and they helped us with coming up with a list, figuring out our list of fit factors, what we want to do, what we want in a college, the programs that we are looking for, and also the first generation programs. Since a lot of our visual first gen ስለሆነ እንደሱ አይነት ፕሮግራም ትምህርት ቤቶችን መመከም ጥሩ ነው። ስለዚህ አቺቭ የሚባለው ፕሮግራም በጣም ረድቶኛል። በሱ ዋናው እነሱ ናቸው። ከዛ የትምህርት ቤታችን ኮሌጅ ካውንስለሮች ጋር ራሱ እነሱ ጋር ብዙ ጊዜ ሁሉም ሃይ ስኩል ኮሌጅ ካውንስሊንግ ሚቲንግ ኮሌጅ ካውንስሊንግ ቲም ያላቸው የአስተማሪዎች እና አንድ ኮሌጅ ካውንስሊንግ ይኖራቸዋል። አንዳንድ ጊዜ ክላስ መጥተው ጀነራል ኮርስ ይሰጣሉ እንዴት አፕላይ ማድረግ እንዳለበት ኮሌጅ። ግን እነሱ ጋር ዋን ኦን ዋን ሚቲንግ ማድረግን በጣም ይጠቅማል። ስለዚህ ዋን ኦን ዋን ሚት ማድረግ እነሱ ጋር ስፔሲፊክሊ እነሱ ለእናንተ የሚጠቅማችሁ እናንተ የሚፈልጉት እንዲነግራችሁ በጀነራል ሳይሆን ለእናንተ ስፔሲፊክ ቢሆን፣ ስለዚህ እሱ በጣም ይጠቅም ነበር።
I think I have a different experience because I went to community college first. So, to get into a community college, it's very easy. You can just apply to any community college and you can get in. But that's not the only thing. The main thing comes after the community college. If you want to transfer to a four-year college, that's the challenge that's coming because you have to write a personal statement and you have to apply for the different colleges. So, but the good thing is any community college, I would say any community college has a campus advisors from different college. So use that, utilize that. They are always available to help you out, what the campus program is, what scholarship program that they have, what kind of requirements that the college needs. So always reach out to college advisors and then they will help you out to the process. And the other big advice that I have regarding mine was do not just contact one college. Don't put your all eggs in one basket. So reach out to different colleges. There's a campus tour. Whenever there's a campus tour, go ask, and you'll find very helpful information. So if you go to that route, there's available resources that you can utilize.
For me, I just did my research, honestly. There weren't much programs that I was aware of. Out of my siblings, I was the one who went straight to college, straight to university. They went to community college first. But I just did, a bunch of research. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. But I will say college counselors in school. So I went to the same high school that Nana's go to, where they went to. So they were really helpful. So they just guided me and I started pretty early. So that's what I recommend people do too. So start really early. Don't procrastinate. Don't last minute applications. All of that's too stressful. So if you go about it very calmly and organized in a time management way, then you should be able to get your applications in and everything will be fine. But I know things have changed these past couple years with SATs and all of that. But the more you have and your experiences outside of high school as well, so internships or any type of job and whatnot, I think that's what really boosted me as well when I applied. Because I had a bunch of, starting when I was 16, I had a job and in the Oakland Public Library and also an ice cream job and stuff like that. So they want to see diverse applications. So I think that's take your hands just outside of what your school provides you and the program advises you as well, and do as much as you can as well. That's my advice.
Alright, I think I have a different experience from everybody here because I came here to the US as an international student. And so I had to take a test called TOEFL, which was on English for second language speakers. And so that wasn't very challenging, but the main challenging part was coming here to the US and adapting to my new environment, to the new country. And like Dr. Marma said, it was a huge cultural shock. And in terms of time management, for example, there's this thing called African time where you can just be late 5-10 minutes to a class and all of that. But that's not okay, so you have to be there on time and all of that. So navigating through all the new environment and just getting used to the new situation here was a little challenging. But in terms of the application process, it's just a TOEFL and then there was an IETLS exam that I took. So I came here as an international student, so it's a bit different from the normal transition from high school to university.
Yeah, for me it is the same as Moigis because I came here as international student and I took IELTS test and other international exam because Ethiopian ትምህርት it have to be changed to US so that they can know that every course you took is some kind of standard for here to continue my master's. So and the other challenge I faced was getting full scholarship because it is very expensive here. So it took me like 3 years to get the full scholarship. So time taken now, time taken ያደርግባችኋል. Then at that time I also do my full-time job in British Embassy, so it was challenging, but once you have a goal, a vision, you will do it. So be strong. That's the only advice I have.
Just to reiterate what they said, because not only have I been an applicant, I've also been on the other side where I've looked at applicants to full residency. So what they're trying to harp on is you want to be different. Because when you apply to a college, just know that there are many, many, many students applying just like you. They have similar grade, they have similar interests, so you want to set yourself aside. So what makes you different? It could be your volunteering experience, it could be your job experience, like Rick was saying. It could be something you did for your community. It could be organizing something, with your school or around your church. Something that makes you different. Because when you submit your application, they're going to look at all SAT. You all have the same SAT scores. You all have the same GPA. But what they're going to look for is who's that different. Someone that's different. Someone that will make their student body a little bit diverse. You're already from minority, that's a plus, but you want to make yourself stand out even more so you get better chance, is what I would say.
You have a earlier. I have a question for you, especially personal. Earlier we talked about something. How did you decide to go to college? And what did you do? It was hard to make a decision to go to college, to take all that risk and to do something great for yourself. And of course, in the future, your family will be proud. Can you a little bit share with Taragi? But I'm just, ለሌሎቹ አንዳንድ young ልጆች ወደኋላ የሚቀሩ ከሆነ my your story is going to help. Thank you.
The decision is I'm the one I did everything by myself. My families, nobody knows any Florida than me. Actually, የኔ የሚለየው ምንድነው? ሁሉ ቦታ ነው አፕላይ ያደረኩት. I got San Francisco State acceptance on nursing school. እኔ አልፈለኩም nursing school. ሲጀምር it's not my nursing school. I don't like it. I feel like ጭንቅላቴ ከዛ በላይ የሚሰራ ስለሚመስለኝ አንዳንዴ ጭንቅላታችንና ማንነታችን ማወቅን በጣም ጥሩ ነው ለዲሲዥን ብዬ አስባለሁ። እና ጭንቅላቴ ከነርሲንግ በላይ መስራት እንደሚችል ስለሚያውቅ እና ከምንም በላይ ደግሞ በደንብ ዲሳይድ እንዳደረግ ያደረገኝ ኢንቫይሮንመንታችን ነው። የኛ ኢንቫይሮንመንት ምንድነው? ልደት አለ፣ ክርስትና አለ፣ የሆነ ነገር አለ፣ ትጠራለህ። ሁሌ እሁድ or ቅዳሜ there is something to go እና የኛ ፋሚሊ ደግሞ በቃ ሀበሻ ስንባል they will push you to go there, like you have to go. አለበዛ ሪስፔክት አላደረግናቸውም ብለው ነው ፊል የሚያደርጉን ማለት ነው። እና I decided የኔ ፋሚሊ it's a big family እንደምታውቁት በጣም ትልቅ ፋሚሊ ነው ያለን እና I decided to go to Florida. When I applied Florida, nobody knows እኔ በዛ ፋር እንደሚሄድ I'm the only one ማውቀው እና after acceptance ሁሉም ነገር ከጨረስኩ በኋላ I tell for ቀሲስ ዳንኤል he's the first one የሰማው እና he knows me who I am, like medical school ስለሆነ በጣም ከባድ ስለሆነ እንደዚህ አይነት ኢንቫይሮንመንት ባዘር እንዲያረጉኝም ስለማልፈልግ I just left there እና ፎከስ አድርጌ ነበር ስማርም የነበረው። ሁሉም ግሬዶችን ኤ ነበሩ። እሱ በጣም ይከታተል ነበረ እና ከሱም ደግሞ ሌላ እነ ሚኪ በጣም ያዩ ነበር። ስፔሻሊ ሁላችሁም የምታውቁኝ በመሳቅ ምናምን ነገር ነው እና ኖባዲ ኖውስ አም ፕሪሜድ ስቱደንት መሆኔን ራሱ ሰምታይምስ ያጠራጥሩኛል ማለት ነው እና ከእንደዚህ አይነት ኢንቫይሮንመንት መውጣት አለብኝ ብዬ ራሴን በደንብ አሳመንኩኝ ማለት ነው። በጣም ባዘር ያደርጋል። በጣም ነው ባዘር የሚያደርገው። ስፔሻሊ ፎከስ አድርጎ ለጥሩ ግሬድ መስራት ለምትፈልጉ ሰዎች እና ተማሪዎች you have to go far ብዬ አስባለሁ በራሴ ማለት ነው።
They're sharing a lot of things, so I feel like you should write down some notes, to be honest. I'm going to jump to the next question. So this is a two-parted question. I'm going to invite anyone to answer from the panelists. One is, how did you write your personal statement and other essays that are required for application? And on top of that, I guess once in college and also before college, how did you organize yourself and time manage everything?
How was I supposed to do this one? That's one of you guys. When it came to the personal statements, Azar had I think a college counselor writer who he introduced me to, and he helped me write the personal statements. I talked mostly about life in Ethiopia and then moving out here, and mainly that. It wasn't that hard for me. The guy that helped me with the writing thing, it was him writing it and me writing it too, just telling him my story and how we live in Ethiopia and then how I was living currently here. So not much difficult for me. It was just kind of telling and writing.
Just a quick minute. Regarding personal statement, I actually wrote it down myself, and I went to my father and then gave it to him for review, and he reviewed it. He corrected my grammar and any additional stuff. Then I took it to a college advisor. Same thing. She looked at it and she reviewed it. She tailored it down. Gave me some comments about the wording. And then I took it to my English professor, because English was my first. It wasn't my first language, so I know that I could make a lot of grammatical errors. So she helped me out too. And then finally I submitted it. So I went to 4 different people. So make sure at least you have to talk to people before you submit it, because they can give you a very helpful advice.
I wrote about different topics, but I think everybody knows the general ones, which is like going from Ethiopia coming to America, the culture shock and whatnot. So I did that, but I will say it's really about writing skills. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it is writing skills. I had a friend who wrote about SpongeBob, and it was actually like amazing. It was, when you read it, it flowed well. It talked about her story, but it was also kind of a joke. So like Dr. Madamoy said, it wouldn't be like any other application. It was very different. She stood out out of all the students that were in my batch. So I would say, be creative. That's my advice. I say be creative, go out of the norm of just talking about certain topics a certain way, talk about them, but then symbolize, use metaphors, use all your writing skills that you have in ELA, your language arts class, all of that, and tell a story, but just don't make it monotonous, don't make it boring. That's it, just so you can captivate whoever the reader is, because you
have to understand they're reading thousands of applications, and if we were reading it too, reading the exact same thing, different scenes, it would be kind of tedious. So make sure you stand out and use different tactics of writing, is what I recommend.
Yeah, so when it comes to personal statements, I think I'll just add one more thing. So the main thing is basically trying to stand up and be unique, right? And so the fact that we are all immigrants here, I think it's a plus. It adds up to what we're trying to accomplish. But at the same time, just saying that we're an immigrant doesn't really satisfy the goal, right? So one of the things that we can do is what have we done in our community, or what have we done in the society to actually make a difference, to actually make some kind of change, and who have we reached out, or any organizations that we've actually contributed to in order to make a difference. So like an incident or an event that we have participated in. So I think that would be a good thing to mention, but like everyone said, like our immigrant status has actually a good value when it comes to personal statements, and being able to utilize that is, I think, very important too.
እኔ አንድ ነገር መጨመር የምፈልገው ዶንት ፎከስ ኦን ዮር ግሬድ ጀስት በተቻላችሁ አቅም ሞር ስፔሲፊክ ለመሆን ሞክሩ እና ሪሰርች አድርጉ። አጻጻፍ ስታር የሚባል አጻጻፍ አለ። በወት ሲቹዌሽን ዮር ታስክ ምንድነው፣ ሪስፖንሲቢሊቲያችሁ ምን ነበር እዛ ኢቨንት ላይ፣ ዋት ዋዝ ዘ አውትካም ኤንድ ዋት ዲድ ዩ ለርን የሚለውን ጀስት በአንድ ኢቨንት ሊሆን ይችላል፣ በአንድ ስቶሪ ወይ ደግሞ በአንድ ኤክስፒሪየንስ ትራይ ቱ ኤክስፕሬስ ዮርሰልፍ። ምንም ኮምፕሌክስ ለማድረግ አትሞክሩ። then try to ask others to read your application, then they will tell you like ከሶስተኛ point of view ወይም ደግሞ ከሁለተኛ point of view ሆነው ሲያነቡ የእናንተ ፐርሰናል ስቴትመንታቸውን ሲያነቡ they will tell you comments. So yeah, try to be easy and very concise.
Not much to add, but the people that you take your personal statement to review, they can only arrange structure. They can fix your grammar, arrange the paragraph, embellish a little bit to finesse. But they need something to finesse, right? They need something to embellish. So you give them the substance. So you have to work on the substance. The substance comes from your experience, your family's experience. And sometimes you may feel the urge to add things that you've never experienced, or try to make something that you have gone through more than what it is. Be careful about that too, because when you go for your interview, for your college interview, if whatever you wrote, it's fair game they will ask you, and you don't want to find yourself tripped. So be careful with that. If you don't have substance, go out and get it. Either go somewhere, experience something, help someone on the side of the road, do something to find that substance that you need, but try not to add too much or whatever you haven't done, because that could trip you, and that's bad.
Did you hear what she said? The last part is very important, I think, and because it's very, very easy to add things that have not occurred, right? Because you're in Ethiopia, no one can check you, right? You can say, I am the guy that provided electricity for the whole village, but you're not, okay? So don't do that, and don't lie. That's what we're trying to say. Don't lie on your applications.
Okay, the next question is, thank you so much actually for sharing a lot of good things, right? Yeah. So the next question is, how did you prepare for the transitions from high school to college? Yeah, the challenge or anything.
Honestly, the transition, even though people told me to expect such things like might be a culture shock and all that stuff, but like until you get into it, until you're at the spot right there, you're just gonna listen to words what people tell you. but then once you get there, you're really gonna know what you're talking about and stuff like that, basically.
Yeah, the same thing. It's more of like your own experience. You can't go based off of what somebody told you. You're gonna go through different things that's gonna come up to you when you get there. So, have patience, believe in your faith, and you guys will be fine.
I agree with that. Having patience and forging your own path, and not just going off that. But on the contrary, I think it's also important to ask other people for advice. Especially growing up in this community of Qudus Mikhail, you guys have we have everyone that went before us, our other brothers and sisters, and you don't have to do any part of the college process alone. You can ask us questions. You can ask about work. We have older brothers and sisters here in Sadezi. You don't have to figure anything out by yourself. That's what's so nice about being a part of this community. Spiritually, when I went to college, I remember Abba giving me advice about Yatim Sitid, like have a feeling of ownership. Like wherever you go to college, you have to have that mentality. Wherever church I go to, wherever I am, I belong. So you have to have that mentality. So I wouldn't have had that mentality if I didn't talk to Abba. If I didn't ask him, maybe my older brothers and sisters for advice, then I wouldn't. Here I am. So being humble and asking for advice, not doing things in your own way. All these things are really important. In terms of preparing for school, I think it just goes back to asking questions of those that went before us.
Transition from high school to college. So I went to 2 high schools. My senior year I had to transfer to St. Joe, so it was already hard. And when I went to college, like Jonas mentioned, it is very hard, but it's an experience for everybody. And like he said, you will know when you get there. But then, like Anazar said, it's the whole point of this is so you guys don't do the same mistakes we did. And you learn from all the good things that we did so you could do better. So ask questions. That's my advice. Ask questions, like I said, talk to each other, help each other. Don't do things alone, because we have to sometimes do things by ourselves, and it was hard. So the easier the better, right? So yeah, just ask each other questions, work together, and be open and honest. And whatever topics you want to talk about for people who did go to college, just honestly ask them. Like, don't beat around the bush. There are some hard topics, but it is better that you know the truth than just everybody just saying, oh, college is a good experience, you come back. Yeah, but there's still a lot of things that go into it, so ask each other and be there for one another.
So I'll just add a quick thing about that. So just moving from high school to college, the main thing is we're away from our used to support system. So especially those first years, as a freshman and a sophomore, we have to be our own advocates, so our own cheerleaders. So no matter what happens, right, class might be hard, getting used to new friends, getting used to the whole school might be hard. And so during those times, we just have to be our own cheerleaders at times and, just believe that we can do it. Once we get through those first 2 years, it's gonna be easy. So those first 2 years are very crucial. Just believe in yourself and advocate for yourself. So that's what
Okay, for me, I would advise you guys to be wise in choosing friends, because sometimes colleagues in the Gawa, ጓደኞቻችን either ወደ ተሻለ ቦታ ይወስዱናል ወይም ደግሞ ያጠፉናል። It is 50-50, so be wise in choosing your friends and keep contacting your family, maybe like every day, but በተቻላችሁ አቅም ከፋሚሊዎቻችሁ ጋር either በስልክ whatever በሚመቻችሁ መንገድ ኮኔክሽኑን ብዙ አታድርጉ።
Be comfortable in your skin. You know what that means? To be comfortable in your skin, you just have to be comfortable with who you are and be proud of who you are. When you go to college, you're going to meet so many people that are of different backgrounds, different beliefs, different values. But if you are comfortable and proud of who you are, they will see that and they will respect you for that. sometimes when you go to higher education, there's an urge to assimilate yourself into whatever surrounding you find yourself, but you don't have to do that. And I think that parents play a very important role in this. If you make your children be proud of who they are, and comfortable in who they are, then no one else will change that when they go to college. They will carry that value with them, so that even if they are surrounded by people that have different values, different beliefs, different ideas, who they are will not change. But you have to do the work from young age, so that when they go off to college, you're not worried, oh, what's going to happen to my kid? Are they going to get into trouble? Are they going to get into things that they shouldn't get into? But if you do the work now, and your kids are stronger, then when they go to college, no one will worry. They will be strong and they will come out.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna add one thing, and then we're gonna kind of change the situation here. Okay. What I would say is transitioning to college. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. The first day when you step in that state or that university, things are going to be different, and no one is gonna be like, "Hey, have you done your homework?" Right? No one is gonna look after you and check if you completed your assignments or not. You are 100% by yourself, so be accountable. That's what I was saying. The first thing, so I had a program in my university. They call it Jumpstart. We had to arrive a week prior to every student. Okay, and during that week, they took us around the college and gave us things to do and such. But there was one advice that I got from our advisor at the time. She told us, she was a senior at that moment, so she told us, the way you start college is the way you would finish college, okay? And I'm being 100% honest with you. It may seem like, hey, I'm getting a B now, but I'll make it an A next quarter, right? But next quarter is going to be very difficult because they're not going to just, give you the same assignments. Now they're going to expect you to read a whole book, right? Next quarter, they're going to expect you to read two more books, okay? It's not going to be easy. So the way you start and the way you start your journey would define your journey, okay? So don't procrastinate on your first quarter, grades, assignments, because if you have B's and C's, and that's going to end up being your end. So don't do that. Try to focus on your grade. That's what I would say. Let's change the whole dynamics here, and I guess if you have any questions to the panelists, I'm gonna give you some chance now, right? We're not gonna be just asking questions now. If you have a question, please raise your hand, and we're gonna open up for discussion. Why not? Okay? And try to be specific in a way, because that helps. All right, thank you. One question. Here.
Call me.
My name is Lalala. I have two questions today. My first question is, how did you decide what college is best for you? And my second one is, who did you ask for your recommendation paper? And do you think it really mattered when you were applying for colleges?
Okay, did we get that? Understand? Okay. Okay, let's give it to Michael first, and then he's gonna start.
Actually, the thing that I was gonna say is kind of related to your first question. I know most of you guys want to go a four-year college straight from high school. I know for the fact. But I want you to consider something. Consider going community college first. I highly advise you. Consider going community college first and then transfer to four-year college. That worked best for me. I'm not saying that going straight to a four-year college from high school is bad. That's really great. If that works best for you, that's fine, go forward. But I want you to consider going community college first. Why? Because the biggest advantage is tuition is much less. I know a lot of you are under your family right now. That way you can relieve the financial burden over your families. So consider that. Four-year college is not cheap. So in order to consider the financial burden over your parents, so think about that. And the second thing is flexibility. You will be flexible to pick your major, to pick the college that you're going to go next. And then also, it's very small, precise, focused, class-based. So when you go for your college, sometimes the classroom might be like 400, 500 students. It could be that big. But in community college, it's very focused. It can be like 60, 70 students. So it's very focused, small size. So it's you'll get a quality education in that way. And also it's very convenient. You're not far from your parents. So consider that advantage. I just want to point that out.
Who wants to answer our question?
How do you know the college is
How do you decide recommendation?
Yeah.
Like I mentioned earlier, when applying to college, I had a fit factor list. Was it near church? Does it have a neuroscience program? Does it have an Ethiopian community nearby? What are other programs on campus? So having a list like that, and does your school check those things on your list is really helpful. For me, being really close to Beta Christian is really important, and check that list as a really good neuroscience program. And also, like Miki said, a small focused science, like a small class size. Like a lot of UCs in bigger schools have a bigger class. Like your freshman bio class might be like 700 people, and the professor would never know your name the whole semester. So there's for me, going to small school my whole life, McAllister is also a small school, so the biggest class I've ever had is like 30 people. And usually the class size is between 15 to 20, so you can have a relationship with your professor, go and see them. And at smaller schools, your professor is there to actually teach and not to do research like bigger schools. So that's something to consider if you want to go to a smaller school. So that was important for me.
For recommendations, I asked almost like every teacher I was closest for the last 4 years, and also since I had a religious background on my personal statement, I also asked W and also Deacon Michael at the back to write me a recommendation. So.
For your first question, I just knew I wanted to stay in the state. That was for me. But I did go to smaller high schools, but I also wanted to go to a bigger campus. So my freshman biology class was like 500 people. So it was a lot. Your professors don't know you until you make them know you. So you go to office hours, you email them, you bug them, and then they're like, who's this girl? And they associate face with name. So then later on they do, but it is, a lot of people do say smaller schools, you have a better relationship with your teachers. I just think it's up to you to make yourself known. I went to office hours all the time. I spoke to them all the time, so that's how I was able to even get recommendations for other positions that I wanted, which we'll get into later. But yeah. And as for recommendation letters, I think it's good to have diverse recommendation letters. So some people from high school, some people from church, some people from jobs, internships, so they know you have a diverse, like, palette, I guess, not food, but a diverse, stance, I guess, from work and every other thing.
Did you hear the last part? Make yourself known, right to your professors. This is what happened, true story, okay? When I was in my chemistry class, so I came from Ethiopia, so I have learned a lot of things from Ethiopia. So Ethiopian chemistry classes are very difficult, so I would know a lot of stuff before they taught us here. So whenever they were doing the labs, I would sit and read the books, and I would go like so and everything like Zemas. And the professor called me. He's like, "Why are you always crying?" And I told him. I told him, I'm not crying. To be honest, I'm not crying. So he's like, well, I've noticed a couple of classes, you would say this, very sad and very, touchy melody. And I told him that's from my church. I'm a deacon and I'm practicing. And I told him, he's like, oh, so you're practicing while I'm teaching, right? No, I'm not like trying to, disregard what you're talking or what you're teaching, but I know already the stuff you already say, so I already know it. And he's like, okay, in that case, let me transfer you to an upper class, right? So let's talk about trying to have you in, one level up class, and that happened. So that's what I would say, make yourself stand up. I'm not saying go mazmur in class, no. I'm saying make yourself known, because that will help, okay? One last question, and then we'll have some prize. How about that? Okay, good.
Thank you, Cassie. And the previous question, I just wanted to add one more thing. Did you really miss home when you left? And tell us about your challenge in that situation.
It was 50-50. I did miss home, but I didn't. Being immersed in the college life, it was kind of, I would say, fun a little bit, but at the same time, what you miss is the family that you have, the resources that you can get from your parents, and just having a home to come to. Because when you're in a dorm, it's just you and some other kid that we just met that year, so it's kind of, it really just depends on who you are.
በጣም ነው ሚስ ያደረኩት ስፔሻሊ ቸርች መዘመር በጣም ነው ሚስ ያደረኩት። ፋሚሊዎቼን ሃንጋውት የምናደርገው ጓደኞቼን በጣም ነው ሚስ የምናደርገው። ግን አንድ የሄድኩበት ዓላማ ስላለኝ እሱም ማሳካት ስላለብኝ እሱ በጣም ሆልድ ያደርገኛል። መጀመሪያ ነገር በቃ ሁሉ ነገር ሚስ ታደርጋላችሁ፣ ነገር ግን ዓላማችሁን አትርሱ። ለምን እንደሄዳችሁ ፊውቸራችሁን ማሰብ አለባችሁ፣ ቤተሰቦቻችሁን ማሰብ አለባችሁ። በጣም ለፍተው ስፔሻሊ አሁን ላይ ያላችሁ ልጆች በደንብ ቤተሰቦቻችሁን ተጠቀሙባቸው ነው ብለው በደንብ ማለት ነው። የቅድሙ በዚህ አጋጣሚ ልመልስና እነ ሚኪ ኮሌጅ ሂዱ ምናምን ነገር ሲሉ የነበሩት ኮሌጅ ሄዳችሁ 2 ዓመት እኔ በጣም ትልቁን ሚስቴክ የሰራሁት በህይወቴ እሱ ላይ ነው። በጣም ትልቅ ሚስቴክ የሰራሁት እዚህ ሀገር ገና እንደመጣው I wish I go directly to university. I wish I didn't see college life ማለት ነው። ኮሌጅ ላይፍ ልክ እንደመጣው 1 ዓመት እዚህ መቆየት አለባችሁ ኮሌጅ ለመግባት እና መታወቁ ማለት ነው። 1 ዓመት እዚህ ካሊፎርኒያ ውስጥ መቆየት አለባችሁ። ከዛ በኋላ ከሌላ ቦታ ከሌላ ሀገር ስትመጡ ማለት ነው። እና ትልቅ የሰራሁት ስህተት እኔ ለ12ኛ ክፍል ኢትዮጵያ ግራጁዌት አድርጌ ነበር የመጣሁት እና ትልቅ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ነበር እዛም የደረሰኝ። እሱን ተንብዬ ነው ወደዚህ የመጣሁት እኔ እና የዛኔ ስመጣ ምንም ነገር አላውቅም ነበር። ዶላር ምን እንደሆነ አላውቅም ነበር። ብሩን፣ ሰዓቱን፣ ሁሉንም ነገር አላውቅም ነበር እና እዚህ መጥቼ ቁጭ 1 ዓመት መቀመጥ ስላለብኝ 1 ዓመት ተቀመጥኩኝ። ከዛ ቀጥታ ወደ ኮሌጅ እንድገባ ነበር ያደረጉኝ ማለት ነው። እና ትልቅ ስህተት የሰራሁት ኮሌጅ ላይ ስትማሩ በወሰዳችሁት ክሬዲት እኩል ብር ይሰጣቸዋል። ትልቅ ስህተት ማለት ነው። በቃ በወሰዳችሁት ልክ ብር ይሰጣቸዋል። ያ ብር እኔን አበላሸኝ። I don't want you guys ስትሮንግ ሳትሆኑ ስፔሻሊ አዲስ ነገር የምታደርጉትን ነገር ከማድረጋችሁ በፊት እነሱ እንዳሉት ጠይቁ። እኔ እሱ ብር ለመድኩና ልክ ስጨርስ they don't even know እኔ ኮሌጅ እንደጨረስኩኝ ያችን ብር ስለለመድኩ ማለት ነው። ገብቷችኋል አባባሌ? ከዛ ምንም አላልኩም፣ ዝም አልኩኝ። ከዛ ብሩ ስለጣፈጠኝ I just start working. I forget my school. ከዛ እሱ ብር 1 ዓመት ሆልድ አደረገኝ። በቃ ብሩ ጣፈጠኝና ሆልድ አደረገኝ። ከዛ በኋላ ነው የነቃሁትና ዩኒቨርሲቲ የሄድኩት እና if you guys not strong ሳትሆኑ እንደዚህ አይነት ኮሌጅ የሆነ ኦፖርቹኒቲ ኢዚ ነገር ኦፖርቹኒቲ አለ ብላችሁ ያ መጥፊያችሁ ሊሆን ይችላል እና በደንብ ተጠንቀቁ የምታደርጉትን ነገር ማለት ነው። at the same time like ትንሹ ነገር ብዙ ዋጋ ያስከፍላችኋል። እኔም ዋጋ ስላስከፈለኝ ነው ሚኪ ስል ኢዚ ለአንዳንዱ ግን ከባድ ነው። ስፔሻሊ ፋሚሊ ላይ እናንተ ብዙዎቻችሁ ዶላር ምን እንደሆነ በደንብ አጣጥማችሁ ስለማታውቁ እኔ 24 ሰዓት ሰርቼ ብር ምን እንደሆነ አውቃለሁ። አሁንም ፉል ታይም ተማሪ ሆኜ ለዛውም በጣም የሚከብድ ትምህርት እየተማርኩ ትምህርት ምን እንደሆነ አውቃለሁ። ትረስት ሚ እንደ ስኩል የሚጣፍጥ ነገር የለም። እንደ ስኩል በጣም አይምሯችሁ ኮንፊደንሳችሁ የምታገኙት ነገር የለም። እኔ I feel so confident when I say I'm a pre-med student. I feel so confident. ድሮ ግን ተማሪ ነኝ የተማሩትን ምናምን ሳይ ተማሪ ናቸው ምናምን እና እኔ የምለውን ደግሞ ቤት ገብቼ ነው ራሴን የምጠይቀው፣ እዚህ አይደለም። እና የምታደርጉትን ነገር እያሰባችሁ በደንብ ደጋግማችሁ ከራሳችሁ አልፋችሁ ለሚያውቁት ይሄን ላይፍ በደንብ ቻሌንጅ አድርጎ ላለፉት ጠይቋቸው እላለሁ።
So we're gonna have one last question for the panelists, and then we're gonna go to another section. But just one last thing, because I was gonna pass on this, but I have to say this, okay? And I did go to community college here, in the College of Alameda. I did my community college, and then I transferred to the 4-year. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I know community college is easy. Now when I say easy, it's like chipper, that kind of thing, right? But to be honest, I would personally advise going to a 4-year college. And there is a reason for this. Because when I went to community college, it's classes, of course, you go and you learn your classes, but at the end of the day, the environment doesn't matter. And for me, I was taking classes with very big and adult people. That was not fun. And when I went into college, like 4 years university, the students were there, right? Walking students are going to the library, students are discussing about, project. So everything is about school. And that helped, okay? And I want to stress this, because when you are in the community college environment, it's not about school. Mostly, you'll be mixed with adults, you'll be mixed with, different people from different backgrounds, and that does have its negative effect too, okay? So I would want you to consider 4-year college, but at the end of the day, community college is also an option. Don't focus on the money, because the money you'll make it. Trust me, you'll make it and you can pay it off later on. You should focus on your education. And for me, the environment and the university did matter. And I want to stress that out, okay? So we're not saying just go to community college, or we're not saying do 4-year. We're saying there's options, so choose one that fits you best, okay? That's why I would say the last question, this is for the graduates that are currently working. What we want to ask you is, while you were in college, did you actually plan on your career in the future? And if you do that, how did you do? Right? That's the first question. Second thing is, once graduated and now working, how do you see the difference? And if the students need to know anything beforehand, please advise. That's what I'd say.
መጀመሪያ ፈልገው ከአሜሪካን የጨረስኩት ኢትዮጵያ ነው። በቀን ዩኒቨርሲቲ የጨረስኩት በሜካኒካል ኢንጂነሪንግ። ዩ ማይት ነው ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ ስትማሩ ገቨርንመንት ኢዝ ዘ ዋን ቱ ዲሳይድ ምን እንደምትማሩ የት ዩኒቨርሲቲ እንደምትሄዱ እና ልክ 12ኛ ክፍል እንደጨረስን የኢትዮጵያ ናሽናል ኤግዛሚኔሽን ገቨርንመንት ዲሳይድ ዩኒቨርሲቲስ ኤንድ ዲፓርትመንት. That was very challenging for me, because sometimes ያልፈለጋችሁትን ነገር መማር ያልፈለጋችሁበት ቦታ ሄዶ ከአዲስ አበባ በቀን በጣም ሩቅ ነው ሄዶ መማር በጣም it was challenging. እናንተ you guys you are very lucky ማለት የምትፈልጉትን መርጣችሁ ነው የምትማሩት፣ የምትፈልጉት ቦታ ሄዳችሁ ነው የምትማሩት። ሲቀጥል ደግሞ you are so far እኛ የምንሄደው ኢትዮጵያ ወደ 700 ምናምን ኪሎ ሜትር ነው። በባስ ይዘን ወደ 13 ሰዓት ከአንድ ቀን በላይ ነው ጉዞ። so much challenging እኛ የተማርንበት relative to you guys it was challenging so you have to be grateful that you have grateful for እግዚአብሔርን አመስግኑ። ሲቀጥል ልክ ሜካኒካል ኢንጂነሪንግ ስገባ we were like 5 girls 5 ሴቶች ብቻ ነበረን because ዲፓርትመንታችን ሜካኒካል ሲባል በአብዛኛው ጊዜ ኢንቴንሽኑ ለወንድ ነው እና ወንዶች ብቻ ነበሩ። ከ400 ውስጥ አምስታችን ሴት ነበረ። ሶ ያ ሜንታሊቲ ራሱ በጣም ይከብድ ነበረ። እንዴት ነው እመረቃለሁ፣ እንዴት ነው ይሄን ነገር አልፈዋለሁ ይላለሁ። የራሴ ነገር አውቀዋለሁ። ጉብዝናችንን ስትሬንግዛችንን ብናቅ አንዳንዴ ኤክስተርናል የሚመጣብንን ኤክስተርናል ፎርሶች ኤክስተርናል ፋክተሮች ኢትስ ሪሊ ቢግ ዲል ሶ ዩ ሃቭ ቱ ኖ ዮርሰልፍ ዩ ሃቭ ቱ ቢ ስትሮንግ ዩ ሃቭ ቱ ቢ ሬዚስተንት ሶ ያው እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን በጥሩ ግሬድ ጨረስኩኝ። 5 ዓመት ቆይቼ ግን እንደኔ ታይም ምንድን ነበር ያደረኩት ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ በኢንጂነሪንግ አይደለም በሜካኒካል ኢንጂነሪንግ አይደለም በኢንጂነሪንግ ስራ ማግኘት በጣም ከባድ ነው። ሶ ከሲኒየሮች የሚያደርጉት ላይ ነበረ እና ኢንተርኔት ታይም ማኔጅመንት ትምህርት ጀመርኩኝ ሜካኒካል ሳልጨርስ ማለት ነው። ሶ ኢቨን ግራጁዌት አድርጌ ከወጣሁ በኋላ በኢንጂነሪንግ ስራ ማጣ ከሆነ አብሊቴክ ኢንጂነሪንግ ሴክተር ሳውል አፕላይ እንደ ሶሻል ሴክተር ብዬ አሰብኩና በአንድ ጊዜ 2 ትምህርት ነበር የተማርኩት። ያን ታይም በጣም ቻሌንጂንግ ነው ለኔ የነበረው። ለምን 2 ግቢ እየሄድኩ ነው የምማረው ቴኪንግ ታክሲስ የማታ ትምህርትም ስለነበረ ሊመሽብን ነበረ። ስንመለስ ደግሞ ያው በጣም ብዙ ቻሌንጂንጎች አሉ። ግን እንደዛም ሆኖ እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን ጨርሼ ወጣሁኝ። ግን ባይ ዛት ታይም ማይ ድሪም ዋዝ ፓይለት የመሆን ነበር ሀሳቤና ሜካኒካል ሆኜ ስማር የነበረው በቃ ልክ ይሄንን ትምህርት ጨርሼ ፓይለቲንግ ላይ ገባለሁ ነበር ማስበው። ሶ ልክ ላስት ማይ ሲኒየር ይር ላይ ኢትዮጵያ ኤርላይንሶች ይመጡና መቀሌ ዩኒቨርሲቲ ሪክሩት ያደርጉናል። you will take physical examination እሱ ካለፋችሁ በኋላ you will take physics exam English exam ትወስዳላችሁ። ልክ እሱን ካለፋችሁ በኋላ ኢትዮጵያ አዲስ አበባ ትሄዱና ኢንተርቪው ትደረጋላችሁ። ኢንተርቪው ሳደርግ ደግሞ ልክ አሁን የሚያጋጠመኝ ምንድን ነው 14 ወንዶች ሆነው እኔ ነበርኩ ሴት የነበርኩት። ኢንተርቪው ላይ በግሩፕ ነበር ኢንተርቪው የምንደረገው የነበረው። 14 ወንድ እኔ ሴት፣ ሌላው ፓይለቶችና ፓይለት ኢንስትራክተሮች ነበሩ ኢንተርቪው የሚያደርጉት። ልክ እዛ ቦታ ላይ ስቀመጥ አሁንም እኔ ብቻ ነኝ ሴት በቃ አላልፍም ብዬ ነበር ያሰብኩት። ያን ሁሉ ስቴፖች አልፌ መጥቼ ደን ስቲል የማያቸው ፋክተሮች ይሄ ሴክተር ለሴት ቦታ የለውም ማለት ነው ብዬ ነበር ያሰብኩት። ደን ከ14 ከ15ታችን ኢንክሉዲንግ ሚ ፓስ 5ታችን አለፈን በሲሙሌሽን ኤግዛም ማለት ነው። ሲሙሌሽን ማለት ደግሞ ልክ እንደ የሁሉ አይነት ሲነትን ሙቪስ ፕሌን የሚመስል ውስጥ ያስገቧችሁና ፈተና ይፈትኗችኋል። ፈተና ምንድነው? አታውቁትም። ፓይለት እዚህ ጋር ይቀመጣል፣ ከኋላ ሌላ ፓይለት ይኖራል። በተለያየ መንገድ ይፈትኗችኋል። እሱንም እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን አለፍኩኝ የመጨረሻውን ፕሮሰስ የኤግዛም ፕሮሰስ። ከዛ የሚቀጥለው ምንድን ነበረ? በጣም ነበር ደስተኛ የሆንኩት። በቃ አባቴም በቃ አላለ እንዴት ነው ተቸግሮ አሳድጎኝ በቃ አሁን ልመልስ ነው እያልኩ ነበር ማሰበው። አሁን እንዴት ነው ሜካኒካሉን ጨርሻለሁ፣ ማኔጅመንቱን ጨርሻለሁ። ምንድነው ፎከስ ማድረገው ፓይለቲንግ ላይ የመግባት ብቻ ነው። ሌላ ነገር ማይንዴ ምንም ሬዲ ያላረኩት። ለምን 5 እና 6 ፕሮሰሶች 8 ወር የፈጀ ፕሮሰስ አለፍኩኝ። ሶ በቃ ገብቻለሁ። ያን ሁሉ ቻሌንጆች ያን ሁሉ ዲፊካልቲ አልፌ ሶ አይ አም ሬዲ ልገባ ነው ብዬ አሰብኩኝ። ኔክስት የነበረው ሜዲካል ነበር። ሜዲካል ኤግዛሚኔሽን ማለት እሺ ፋይን ላይክ ማብረር ትችላለሽ ወይ? እንዴት ነው ደም ግፊትሽ፣ ሃርት ዲዚዝ አላት ወይ? ያላለ ክሪቲካል የሚባሉ ነገሮች ታልፋለች ወይ የሚለውን ነገር ነው። እሱ ደግሞ አውቃለሁ ሙሉ ጤነኛ ነኝ እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን ብዬ አስቤ ሄድኩኝ እና የመጀመሪያው ኤግዛሚኔሽን የአይን ነበረ። እኔ ደግሞ አይ ሳይት አለብኝ። ከዛ ፈተና ተቀምጣ ስትፈትነኝ ምንም አይታየኝም ከሩቁ። ከዛ ሶሪ ወይ ማርታስ እንዳለች ማለት ነው እና እንዴት ነው ያ ሁሉ የ5 ዓመት አይደለም የ20 ዓመት ድሪሜ እዛ ጋር ነው ያቆመው። ከዛ እሺ ቴንኪው ብያት ወጣሁና ቆምኩ። ምንድነው ኔክስት ስቴፕ? ለምን ፕላን ቤ የለኝማ እዚህ ጋር ረስቼዋለሁ። ማኔጅመንቱን፣ ሜካኒካሉን፣ ስራ መፈለግ ሲቪ እንኳን የለኝም ለመናገር የዛን ታይም ተመርቄ ወጣሁኝ። ሲቪ አላዘጋጀሁኝም። ለምን በቃ አልፍ ያለው ፓይለት መሆን ነው ብዬ ነው ያሰብኩት። ለምን ሁሉ ነገር አልፌ ነበረ። ከዛ በቃ ቆመ። ለእኔ የዛ ሰዓት ኑሮ ነበር የቆመብኝ ለመናገር እና ትዝ ይለኛል አባቴ የተለያየ ክሊኒክ ይዞ ይሄዳልና እንደ ድንገት የሆነ የአይን ክሊኒክ ስንሄድ ድሮ የኤርላይንስ ፓይለቲንግ አስተማሪ እንዴት የምትፈትነውን አገኘናት። እኔ በሆነ አሳልፍሻለሁ አለችኝ። ለምን በአይ ክላስ መፈተን ትችይ ነበር ዩ ካን ዱ ዛት በት ሴትዮዋ በተለያየ ምክንያት አለችኝ። እኔ ጋድ ዊዝን አለው ማለት ነው አይደለ? አባቴ ምንድን ነው ያደረገ? ቁጭ አድርጎ ልጄ አሁን ይሄኛው በቃ አልቋል፣ ምንም እንዳታስቢ፣ ምንም ነገር እንዳትዪ፣ ቤተር የሆነ ነገር ሊመጣ ይችላል ብሎ አስማለኝ። በጣም በቃ ሲከፋኝ ምንም ስል ከቤተሰብ ጋር አውሩ ያልኳችሁ ለዛ ነው። በቃ ባታምኑበትም ግን ስለ ልጆች እንዴት ነው ወላጆቻችሁ ስለሆኑ በቃ ያጽናኗቸዋል። እና የዛን ሰዓት ላይ በቃ ሲቪ ያስኩኝና ወጣሁኝ አፕላይ ላደርግ በሜካኒካል። አሁን የምፈተንና ምን ይሉኛል፣ ሴት ስለሆንሽ እስቲ በነፃ 6 ወር ሰርተሽን ይሽልኛል። ኖ አይሆንም፣ እንዴ ነው 6 ወር ታክሲ አለ፣ ብዙ ነገር አለ። እና አንዳንድ ጊዜ ሃርድ ዲሲዥኖች መውሰድ አለባችሁ። ጊዜ ኤክስፒሪንሱን ብፈልገው ግን እዚህ ጋር ደግሞ 5-6 ዓመት ደግሞ ለፍታችሁ ቤተሰቦቻችሁ ለፍታ ያስተማራችሁ ማሰብ አለባችሁ። እና ዩ ሃቭ ቱ ቴክ ሃርሽ ዲሲዥን አንዳንዴ። እግዚአብሔር ይመስገን ብሪቲሽ ኤምባሲ ገባሁኝ። ሰው ፈልጎልኝ ሳይሆን እግዚአብሔር አስቦልኝ ገባሁኝ ማለት ነው። እዛ በጣም ጥሩ ኤክስፒሪንስ I had a good opportunity working with ambassadors, high minister, even government minister, and got promoted to go to UK ዋናው ሄድኳርተር ሄጄ አንድ ወር ሰርቼ መጣሁኝ። then I got full scholarship to attend Berkeley. ምንድነው ያ ሁሉ ነገር እግዚአብሔር አስቀመጠልኝ ማለት ነው። እኔ ፕላን አድርጌው አልነበረም ለመናገር፣ ግን እንደኔ ደግሞ የሆነ ሰዓት ላይ ሁልጊዜ ፕላናችሁ ላይሄድላችሁ ይችላል እና you have to have plan B. You have to have a constant conversation with your family. እና አንዳንድ ጊዜ ህይወት ባላሰባችሁበት መንገድ ስትሄድባችሁ ቆም ብላችሁ አስቡና ሁሉ ነገር የሚሆነው it's for better reason. like God እግዚአብሔር ሁልጊዜ የሚያደርግልን እኛ ስለምንፈልገው ሳይሆን የሚያስፈልገንን ነው የሚሰጠን እና እንትን እንዳትሆኑ ጊቭ አፕ እንዳታረጉ።
የኔ ኤክስፒሪየንስ ትንሽ ይለያል። እኔ ኢትዮጵያ አክሳይንስ ነው የጨረስኩት፣ ግን ዶርም ውስጥ አልተመደብኩኝም። ቅርብ ስለነበርኩኝ ከቤተሰብ ጋር ቅርብ ነው የጨረስኩት ስለመጠፋበት። ካሪር ዋይዝ ልክ ከአዲስ አበባ ዩኒቨርሲቲ እንደጨረስኩኝ ቀጥታ ወደዚህ ነው የመጣሁት እና ኢትዮጵያ ስራ የመፈለግ እድሉንም አላገኘሁኝም። ቀጥታ እዚህ ነው መጥቼ ሌላ ባችለርስ ዲግሪ ሰራሁት ማለት ነው። እና እዚህ ልክ እንደጨረስኩኝ አክቹዋሊ ትምህርት ቤቱ ውስጥ the first 2 years እንደተባለው በጣም ነው just getting used to አጠቃላይ ትምህርት ቤቱ environment አንድ ነገር ነው። ከዛ like 3rd year and 4th year ላይ የነበረው ነገር ምንድነው career fair የሚባል ነገር አለ። career fair ሁሉንም ካምፓኒዎች ይመጣሉ፣ ሪክሩተሮቻቸውን ይዘው ይመጣሉ እና እነሱ ጋር ሄዶ ልክ እንደ ኤሌቬተር ፔጅ within 1 minute ወይም ደግሞ 2 minutes ራሳችሁን ሴል ማድረግ ማለት ነው። እና በዛ አሁን career fair የሚባለው ነገር almost thousands of students throughout the whole school ነው እዛ ላይ የሚገኙት እና you have to say something that's memorable, you have to say something that's impactful so that the recruiter ወደ ካምፓኒው ሲመለስ ይሄ ልጅ እኮ ወይ እቺ ልጅ እንደዚህ ብላኛለች እንደዚህ ብለኛል እና I remember this person, so they might be valuable to the company ብለው እንዲያስቡ ያችን 1 minute or 2 minutes መጠቀም መቻል አለብን ማለት ነው because they talk to a whole bunch of students throughout the whole school ማለት ነው። እና those 2 years career fairs በዝም ብዬ በተደጋጋሚ ሄድ ነበር። It was really nerve-wracking in the beginning, ግን ያው the more you do it the better you get at it, so you just have to get used to it. And so eventually you might land a job at a big company, that's good. You might land an internship, that's also good. Even if those things don't happen, you'll be able to get, to have that conversation with a recruiter. It's going to be a valuable experience throughout your life. Because once the college goes up to Mohala, interview you have to So that interviewing skill, like good data መበረታታት ያለበት skill ነው. And so those career fairs and interactions with recruiters, I think, were very valuable for me. So that's all I can say for career search. And just keep on applying. And LinkedIn is also a very good resource. Early on መጀመር ፕሮፋይል ክሬት አድርጎ ያለንን ማንኛውንም ኤክስፒሪየንስ እዛ ላይ መጻፍ ትንሽም ቢሆን ትልቅም ቢሆን recruiters they'll find something to say as long as እዛ ላይ የሚያዩት የኛ ዴዲኬሽን ነው. It's really not about the experience mostly. ዴዲኬሽናችንን ነው የሚያዩት እና ያንን ነገር ለማሳየት early on ፕሮፋይል ፈጥሮ ሬዝሜያችንን ሴት አፕ አድርጎ መጀመር አለብን. I think LinkedIn is a good resource. Other than that, I think just career search, don't give up, no. Like always talk to recruiters, always talk to, even if it's a temporary agency, even if you're gonna start as a contractor, eventually permanent role in child, eventually, different things might happen. And so, never give up, keep on applying.
እኔ አሁን ቅድም ካስተዋላችሁ ማለት ነው ሜጀሬ እና ስራዬ አይገናኙም. So I graduated with a global disease biology degree and I work as a program and logistics manager. Completely different. So originally, እንደሚያውቀው I wanted to be a doctor. ፋዘር ዶክተር ነው እና በጣም ዶክተር መሆን ፈልግ ነበር. And I didn't take my, well, I guess I was a COVID. 2 years of my college life was COVID, so I didn't have the opportunity to actually go into clinics in person. So that was the biggest defining moment for me. So I am still technically pre-med, so if I wanted to go to med school, I could do the process of MCAT and whatnot and see where that takes me. But I realized that was not for me my senior year of college. So it was really tough. I had no clue because like I said, most of everything was online, so I wasn't able to go see doctors and do the internships and whatnot that I wanted to. So junior year, I applied to be in a clinic, and it's called the Imani Clinic, and it was a student-run clinic. And the first full year we did, it was online. Senior year, my last quarter, it was in person. So literally when I was about to graduate. And we went in, we were doing intake, so if you guys go to the hospital, you know how the MA comes in, asks for your name, takes your blood pressure, takes your, does the little, why are you here? And you explain it to them, they write it down, and they take it to the doctor. So I did that for a couple of shifts, and I was gonna lose my mind. I couldn't do it. It was just too much for me. It was too stressful. I didn't like seeing sick people. So it takes a lot of guts to do what she's gonna do and what Dr. Madawi does. So it takes a lot out of somebody. And I realized it just was not for me, but it was very last minute. So I was really confused. I didn't know what to do. I would call my brother and mommy and just cry and I would lose my mind a little bit. But so I graduated, and then right out of college, I got a job as a research assistant. So I did gastrointestinal cancer research, which was also very interesting. Then I was like, oh, maybe I want to get my PhD. So this is me changing my whole careers every 2 months or 3 months. So I spoke to my advisor. She's very smart. She has a PhD in neuroscience as well and gastrointestinal cancer. So I did that for about 3 months or 4 months. And then I met another doctor Debbie introduced me to a doctor, and he asked me one simple question. He said, in a few years, do you see yourself being your manager? And I was like, no, not at all. I can't keep pipetting things every day. It was too much for me again. So then I realized this is not for me. And then I had to apply to other jobs. And I got another job at a university, and it was also research, but it was neuroscience based. And it was a bit different, so it wasn't more, if you know about micro and macrobiology, it's just more cells versus things that are visible in a little tube that's clear water. So it was a little bit more interactive. And then I also realized that wasn't for me, and I also didn't like the pay. So I thought right when I graduated college, I would get money. I thought I would be, I would be more, less broke, I guess. So I thought that's how I thought my career would go. So it was really hard, and then I got a call from a recruiter for another research job. So now, as you can see, once you start a certain path, it's really hard to get out of that. So I was going into research again. So I applied, and then my interview, I told my boss, I don't want to do this. Well, he was my boss, but I told him, I was like, I'm so sorry, but I don't see myself pipetting things. Is there any other thing that you can give me? And then he told me that there was this coordination position that was open. So I was like, okay, I'll do that. Let me just try something new because I don't have the opportunity to try anything else. And fresh graduate, it's going to be really hard for you to find a job. Really, it's not easy. And that's why I said internships and mentoring and anything you can get your hands into. Even if it's not what you want to do at the moment, you never really know until you do it. So try. So I told him sure. Then I got the job I'm at now. And then 7 months later, they promoted me, and I actually like it. So I found my passion, which is management, and that's what I'm doing now. So like, it was a bit of a rocky start, and I didn't do what I thought I was gonna do. Again, which was being a doctor. So yeah, I say try your best, try different internships. My brother, who's in the back, used to also tell me to try computer science, and I didn't want to do that, but I should have. So I'm trying that now too. You know what I mean? So try different careers is my recommendation. While you're in high school too, get your hands into hospitals, get your hands into like coding, any career like skill and any skill set like Mikey mentioned. It's really, really hard to interview, but if you know how to interview, you can turn. I turned my ice cream job into the job that I'm in right now because research and what I'm doing is not at all match. So it's how you talk and it's how you carry yourself. So I transferred the skills that I have and the ability to speak and talk to the position I'm in now. So talk to one another and also your bosses and your professors, high school teachers, any of them. Try different careers, go to internships, go to career fairs, job fairs, and even if you don't think you're gonna like it, just try it anyway. It won't hurt. What's gonna do? You're just gonna stop doing it if you don't like it. You know what I mean? So just do that. Try to put your hands in everywhere and see what is best for you, and you will find the career you like.
All right. And I think we are hitting the time also, and we have a very huge guest in our time. We invite Professor Jelani to give us a little confirmation about education for the future for the kids, the young people, and then maybe any of you have a question to ask him a question, and he will introduce himself. And let's see. And then next will be Dr. Maramari. She is going to tell us a few things about. If you have any question, also she will take hopefully a question. So let's start from you. And thank you so much for being here.
Introduce myself first?
Yeah.
Okay. First, I'm sorry I came a little late this morning. I woke up this morning in Miami. So I only landed in San Francisco Airport about an hour and change ago and came here from the airport. A little bit about myself. My name is Jelani Nelson. I'm a professor, a computer science professor at UC Berkeley. I'm also the chair of the computer science division at UC Berkeley in the EECS department, electrical engineering and computer sciences. I've been there for 5 years. Prior to that, I was a professor at Harvard in Boston for 6 years. So I guess I'm now entering my 12th year as a professor of computer science. I also work part-time 1 day a week at Google as a research scientist. And I also started a nonprofit. We started teaching computer science and algorithms to high school students in Ethiopia. It's called Addis Coder. And just 2 years ago, we created a second program in Jamaica. That's actually where I'm coming from. I just came from Jamaica. I was in Jamaica yesterday, called Jam Coders. I grew up in the Caribbean. I'm half Ethiopian, but I grew up in the Caribbean in the U.S. Virgin Islands, so that was why I was very interested in also starting something in the Caribbean as well. Anything else I should say?
And hopefully he's going to have a question. I have one question for you. If you don't mind to ask me this, that you do a lot of work in Ethiopia, and I know, and you help a lot of people, a lot of students. And since you are a very busy man, and your professional life and personal life too, but I wanted to ask you as my question, what does inspire you to help in Ethiopia, the students up there, and especially at the beginning? And also, what did you learn from all the experience teaching the students up there? Thank you.
Okay, so what inspired me to start Addis Coder, the Ethiopia program? Just to make a little bit of background, I started in 2011. It's a summer camp, so nowadays, ever since 2016, the way it's been is we provide the dorms, we provide all the meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Everything is free for all the students. We have anywhere from 100 to 170 students, high school students per year. Most of them are not from Addis Ababa, so maybe like only 10% are from Addis. I think some feedback. And yeah, so the majority come from other parts of the country. And it's pretty intense. It's Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day for a month. So it's like a full-time job for a month for the kids. We teach them in the morning some computer science for an hour. We teach them in the afternoon. And the rest of the day, they're in the computer lab doing exercises, and we have teaching assistants who help them as they work on problems. We give them lots of exercise problems. So I guess what inspired me to create that program, I was in the same place for undergrad, master's, and PhD. I was at MIT. I was there for 10 years. And I did a lot of, I would say I didn't do a whole lot of service, like community service in college because I was so busy. I did a bunch of internships. I worked at IBM, Google, Microsoft, Toshiba as a student over the summer. And then my last year of PhD, I was applying for jobs, and I got a job offer to start at Harvard as a professor. And basically I had a summer. I actually deferred that job for 2 years to do some other stuff, but bottom line is, right after I finished my PhD, I had a summer that was just free. I had nothing to do that summer. So I thought I'll go to Addis and visit my uncles and my cousins and stuff on my mom's side. And then once it got to be closer to the summer, maybe like March or February, something like that, I thought to myself, I'm gonna be really bored just there for like a summer, drinking tea all day and eating food and stuff. Like, let me find something else to do while I'm there. And at first I thought I'll go to Addis Ababa University and maybe I'll just teach a summer class for college students, like a special topics advanced computer science course. But the problem is, at that time I didn't know anyone at the university, at Addis Ababa University. So it was very hard for me to set that up. I was just Googling professors' names in Ethiopia and trying to like cold email strangers, and it wasn't going very far. So then I thought to myself, okay, if I can't get connected to the right people at the university, maybe I'll just make a high school program, because there are so many high schools. At the very first summer, it was not a national program; it was just in Addis Ababa. So I figured there's so many high schools in Addis. Even if like half of them, even if 90% of them ignore me, as long as some of them are interested, I'll still have some students, right? So I was in Boston. I would just like stay up late at night so that it would be morning in Addis, and I would just call on the phone. I would just call high schools and just tell them, hey, I have this idea. Are you all interested? Do you want to send your students to such a program? And I just kept doing that, and I don't know if people know in Addis, like the two most popular radio stations, Afro FM and Shagir FM. I got them to advertise the program for me for free on the radio. I made a website. I had some people go to schools in person and try to recruit students. So yeah, that was the first one. What inspired? Why did I think to do that, or why did I think to even do the teaching at university? I mean, also there was another program. Even though I wasn't doing much community service prior to that, there was another program I knew at in MIT, where some international students, I think 2 from Kenya, 1 from Ethiopia, started a program where they were going to various African countries, not just Ethiopia, and they were basically teaching college kids web development skills, software engineering skills, and also entrepreneurship. And they were having students like try to start companies. And I think that just hearing about that program made me think, yeah, that's something that sounds very interesting, and it's something that I've never done. I've just been doing internships, but I haven't really been doing any service. So that got me thinking, like, I should try to do something like service related. So I think that's maybe where the idea jumped into my head. And then, the very first program I think went well. We had 83 students. One of them was, many of them were very strong. One of them actually bought my house in Boston when I moved to Berkeley. So, I taught him in high school. Then after the program, he went to MIT. He did his master's at MIT. He got a job at Google. He got a salary that was much higher than mine. So when I moved from Boston to Berkeley, he told me he wanted to buy a house, so I sold him my house. That's in Cambridge, Massachusetts, near Harvard. So he's still living there. So the students were very, very good. But one thing that I didn't like, one thing that I thought could be better after the first summer where I did the program was, even though the program was free, the vast majority of the students who registered for the program were from private schools like, St. Joe, Nazareth School, School of Chamorro, Cathedral, etc. I don't have anything against those schools. I went to private school also, but it bothered me that there's a free opportunity, and the kids who are registering for this free opportunity were from private schools. Yeah. In other words, their families were richer than the average family in Addis. So how come the government school students aren't signing up for this free opportunity? So that kind of bothered me. So the next time I ran it, I decided to partner with the Ministry of Education because I figured, they have the 8th grade ministry exam, they had the 10th grade matric as well. Now they got rid of the 10th grade matric, but I figured they can identify very strong government school students and help me to recruit those students to the program. So basically, so ever since then now, even this summer, the program is happening right now actually. We just finished the first week. It's happened, the first week was at Burayu. I don't know if you know Burayu, it's like a little bit outside Addis to the northwest in Oromia. So the government gave us a boarding school that we could use there for a week, and then because our time conflicted with matric, and then now that that's over, we moved to Amiskilo today. So for the next 3 weeks, the students will be studying in Amiskilo. But basically, the majority of our students now are from government schools, and the majority are not from Addis Ababa. So from every single part of the country. So I think I'm happier now. I feel like we get a better. More people are trying to access the program, and not just people who are wealthy.
So did any? Thank you. So did any of you have a question for Professor Jalani? They want to know about, yes.
Hello, my name is Christian. I was just wondering, where did your love for computer science come from? And after this, do you have any contact information you can give us so we can contact you after this?
Thank you.
So two questions you asked me, right, Christian? One of them was, where did my love for computer science come from? The other one was my contact information. So my contact information, I can say my email address. It's Minilek, but I spell it MINILEK @berkeley.edu. If you forget it, if you just Google my name, Jelani Nelson, I have a webpage and my email address is at the bottom, so it's public information. You can find it there. My love for computer science probably started with video games. I played video games starting from a very young age. When I was 4 years old, I got a Nintendo for my birthday. And I kept playing a lot of games, and then maybe when I was 10, I got a computer, and I was playing games on my computer, and eventually I played games on the internet, and then I think maybe in middle school, like 7th grade or something, playing games on the internet. I remember one day I accidentally right-clicked on a web page, and I saw view source. I clicked view source. This is in the 90s, and the web page was of course written in HTML. And I was like, oh, this is it. I didn't know what HTML was. I was just 11 years old or something. But that got me interested, and I remember in middle school, after seeing that, I had my parents take me to a bookstore, and I bought a book on HTML. So I read it, and I basically tried to teach myself how to make web pages, using HTML. And these days, I mean, back then there were fewer resources to learn things. Nowadays, there's so many websites to learn things that you should take advantage of. And then I think once I got to 12th grade, I was like, oh, I want to do more than just make websites. I want to learn how to make programs. How do you make games? It's not enough to know HTML to make a game. You need to know actual programming. And so somehow I learned that C and C++ were kind of very popular programming languages. I don't remember how I figured that out, but I figured that out in 12th grade. And I had my parents take me to a bookstore, and I bought books on C and C++, and I just read them, and I gave myself homework, and I would just do exercises. So I think that's where it came from. I was pretty sure, even in high school, I was pretty sure I wanted to double major in mathematics and computer science, and that's what I did. I got another question, so I can read it out. Okay, so from my point of view, so I'm a professor at the University of California, right, at Berkeley, and I mentioned I'm the chair of the computer science division. What would I advise students to do who want to go to the UC? Okay. I should say, I know a little bit about admissions, and I can try to say a little bit, but it's not my expertise. So the first thing I'll say is, who here? So we're just here in this audience. Who's a high school student? Okay. Who is a high school student and has heard of the A through G requirements? Who's a high school student and has never heard of A through G? You don't know what I'm talking about. A through G. Okay, so one thing to be on top of is, the University of California is a system of 10 universities, right? One of them doesn't have undergrads, that's UC San Francisco, but all the other 9 do. And then there's the Cal State system, which has, I think, 23 campuses that serve undergrads. And all 32 of these undergrad four-year universities share the same minimum requirements to even be eligible for admission, for freshman admission. It's different for transfer admission from community college, but for freshman admission, and these minimum requirements are basically what we call A through G. So I don't remember so each letter A, B, C, D up to G means a different thing. So C is math, D is science, I think, E is foreign language, G is like electives. I forgot exactly what they all are, but for example, the C requirement says you have to take 3 years of math, and basically Algebra 1, Geometry Algebra 2, or Integrated Math 1, 2, 3. The D requirement says 2 years of science. E says 2 years of foreign language, and so forth. So just be on top of that. Make sure that at a minimum, you need more, to be competitive, you need more than the minimum, but just at a baseline, you make sure that you're satisfying the A through G requirements, and the guidance counselors at your high school should be helping you to keep track of that, okay, but you should know yourself as well. And maybe I loaded this up on my phone before coming, so these requirements are managed by the UC. So there are the 10 campuses I mentioned. There's also the UC Office of the President, which is in Oakland. So all 10 UCs are under one president's office. Okay, that's Michael Drake right now. That's the president of the UC system. And these requirements I'm telling you that you have to satisfy A through G, these are system-wide requirements. So whether you want to go to UC Irvine, Berkeley, Merced, San Diego, doesn't matter. Any UC, all of us share the same minimum requirements. And the Cal State system has decided that they adopt our requirements too. So if you want to go to Cal State, it's the same minimum requirements, okay? So I went to the UC Office of the President website. When you apply, who here is about to be in 12th grade? Okay, so I don't know as much about Cal State, but for the UC, there's an application portal. So like, for example, for most colleges you use, what's that thing called? There's a website that manages Common App, yes. A lot of universities, I'd say most universities use Common App. There are a few that don't. The UC doesn't, right? So if you want to apply to the UC, You apply to a portal that's managed by the Office of the President. It's a UC system-wide portal, and in that application you say which campuses at the UC you're interested in. So I went to the UC Office of the President website, to their admissions page, and they tell you, how are applications reviewed, and they have 13 criteria. So one is your GPA in A through G courses. Those are the courses that UC recognizes as counting toward their requirements. Including additional points for UC certified honors courses. Okay, so if you take a course that the UC has labeled an honors course, you get bonus points for that. So they encourage you to take honors courses. By the way, who knows, I'm about to say something, I'm curious who knows this. So I told you that there's the A through G, right? So how does a course get, so you have to take 3 years of math. Do they just look at your transcript and just look at the name of the course and see if it's a math course? No. Every high school in the state of California, in order to get their classes to count for A through G, to count for UC, they have to submit the syllabus for that class to the UC, and it has to get pre-approved before you take it. Okay? So each school has basically a list of all the classes that they've gotten pre-approved. And when the UC approves it, they'll tell them, we approve it as an honors class or not. And you as a parent or you as a student, if you want to know what are the honors classes that are offered by my school, what are the A through G approved courses offered by my school, you can go to the UC or High School Articulation webpage, okay? And you can basically type the name of your school, and it'll show you a list of all classes that your school has gotten approved by the UC. And it'll tell you which one, there'll be a star, a yellow star if it was approved as an honors course. So basically you can know whether or not it's honors. Okay, so I'm just curious, did you all know that? Did anyone know that? Nobody, one person, nobody knew that. Okay, so yeah, check that out. UC High School Articulation Unit, the UC High School Articulation Course Search. Okay, so just Google that, UC High School Articulation Course Search. And you can do an institution search, which is basically search for your high school and type your high school's name. And it'll show you all the classes that are UC approved at your high school and which ones are honors. So that was number one, the GPA and A through G courses with bonus points for honors. Number two, the number of A through G courses you take beyond the minimum requirements and your performance in those courses. So they want to see you're not just taking the minimum requirements, but you're going beyond the requirements. Number three, the number of honors courses you take and how well you do in them, as well as AP courses and international baccalaureate courses, if your school is IB. So they give you bonus points not only for honors, but they give you bonus points for AP and IB courses. Okay. You get bonus points also if you're in the top 9% of your high school in your graduating class. They also, when you apply, of course, you apply in the fall of your senior year, so they haven't seen your senior grades yet. They say we look at the quality of the senior year program that you've registered for. What classes are you taking your senior fall when you apply? They look at that. Quality of your academic performance relative to the educational opportunities available in your high school. So maybe you didn't take IB, but your high school doesn't have IB, so they're not going to count that against you, right? Or maybe you didn't take a certain AP course, but your class doesn't have that AP course, so they're not going to count that. They're going to know that. They're going to take that into consideration that your school didn't have that. Outstanding performance in one or more specific subjects. Outstanding work in one or more special projects in any academic field of study. They look at improvement. Maybe you didn't do as well freshman year, but you got better. So increased, your GPA started getting better, the quality of the courses you took started improving. Special talents, achievements, and awards such as visual and performing arts, athletics, other special skills, and so forth. So people talk about extracurriculars, right? So if you can demonstrate other special talents and achievements outside of just your classes, they count that as well. Completion of special projects undertaken in the context of your high school curriculum or in conjunction with special school events. Academic accomplishments in light of your life experiences and special circumstances, including but not limited to disabilities, low family income, being first generation to attend college from your family, that you had to work in high school, that's disadvantaged social or educational environment, difficult personal and family situations or circumstances, refugee status, or veteran status. Actually, I can even tell you, I had a conversation with the guy who basically is the head of admissions at Berkeley, and he was telling me that they have, you don't apply for it, they automatically, if they see in your application that anyone has refugee status, and they said anyone who's basically from sub-Saharan Africa and is a refugee, then they even have some scholarship that they consider you for. I don't know, for those who are now in California, I don't know if it counts versus if you had to finish high school in Ethiopia, I don't know, but tell people to apply. And location of your secondary school and residence. So this is everything on their webpage. This is straight from the UC webpage of them telling us what criteria they care about. I can also tell you specifically at Berkeley, if you apply to Berkeley, you have to specify in your application which college you're applying to. So are you applying to engineering, data science and society, computing, data science and society? Are you applying to letters and sciences? These are different colleges, and you have to choose one when you apply, okay? So for example, computer science is in CDSS, Computing and Data Science and Society. Electrical engineering and computer science is in the College of Engineering, and so forth. Data science is in Computing and Data Science and Society. So you have to choose which one you want to apply to. And, I know admissions looks, if you apply to engineering, for example, on top of the usual things they look at, they put extra emphasis on math and science preparation. So like if your school has, AP calculus, for example, and you want to go to engineering, you should definitely try to go that route. You should try to, if you want to be in engineering, you should try to take the most, rigorous science courses also that are available to you in your high school. Also take community college classes if you can. So every California high school student is eligible to take community college classes for free. For example, my wife's brother, he just finished high school last year in Oakland. Over the summer he would take one community college class, and then during the school year he would take one. He would try to take one at least. You could only take one in the semester online while he was doing high school. And I think the UCs and Cal State probably also. That they look on that favorably because you're showing them that you're challenging yourself.
So if anybody has a question from parents, from fathers, anyone? Or here? Okay. Dr. Maramoy, from IB. So, did anybody has a question for Dr. Maramoy?
Okay, so any questions? I guess it goes for both, right? You can ask Professor Janani or Dr. Maramoy. We're open for discussion at this moment. If not, I want to ask you. Is that okay? So is there any, I feel like probably we talked about writing personal statements and how to write them and everything is how difficult and how easy and how, misguided it is sometimes. And I want to say, who from this group who has already started on their college applications, if that is the case? Only two students? Okay, for those of you who have not started yet, right, this may be a good time to consider how to actually start, okay? Don't do it at the last moment, but talk to people, talk to professors and ask them, and what you need to do to prepare even to apply. That's what I was saying. I guess it's open floor, so if anyone has a question, the floor is open, you can ask. If not, we will be closing with this remark.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
እንደነገርሽን አንቺ ሕክምና ላይ ነሽ ብዙ ያለሽው እና
ብዙ ቻሌንጅ ያደረገኝ ነገር አለ። ስፔሻሊ when I go my clinical ስሰራ ጥቁር በመሆናችን እና ብዙ ጥያቄ በመጠየቄ like ብዙ ዶክተሮች አይወዱም እና እሱም እንዴት ነው ያለፍሽ? ስፔሻሊ can you tell us like your clinical life?
I think the question is how I dealt with being a minority, right? So a minority and plus an immigrant, right? Coming here not knowing what the medical system or even the medical education looks like here in the U.S. Having a family or parents that are very supportive and instilled in me very strong belief in my ability to achieve anything I have set my eyes on did help me get through. Yes, you will. I have encountered people that have taken me for a nurse, for just just someone that works in a different department, not necessarily as a physician, basically, but not to take that personally and to educate that and carry myself in the role that I am in did help me through it. Sometimes it does make you wonder, why can't they see who I am? Versus if there's someone with a different skin color standing next to me, they will see that. But I think if you, like I keep saying, like if you are comfortable in your skin and if you're confident about yourself, no matter what people say about you or have an opinion about you, that won't change who you are or what you feel or how you see yourself. As long as you believe in yourself that you can achieve what you want to achieve, you will achieve it. And nowadays it's better. You see a lot of people of color in the medical field and a lot of women in the medical field. So a lot of that, sometimes it's still there, but it's not as bad as it used to be. And even in my time, it was a lot better than it was maybe 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So things are getting better. People are getting more educated and more comfortable seeing diversity in the medical field. So you won't encounter that as much as you used to. So I think it's having strength in yourself, believing in your ability and who you are, being comfortable with who you are is key. Otherwise, small little comments will tear you down if you're not confident in yourself. And I think a couple of things I wanted to add, because a lot of the panelists have been saying, having here when you are with your parents, your spiritual life is well nourished, right? They take you to church, they take you to activities where you continue to participate in your spiritual life. So that it's easy now. And then when you go to college or when you join the workforce, then life, being an adult becomes a challenge so that to continue your spiritual life. But I think what makes it easy for a lot of you to continue that life and what made it easy for me is parents. I keep going back to parents because I feel like you play an important role in how your kids lead their life. If you instill in them good values and stay and continue or maintain open communication with your children, with your kids, and make sure that they trust you and that you trust them. So having that open communication, having that trust, having that understanding, and making sure that your kids trust that whatever challenges they go through, they can come to you. Having that confidence, having the parent be your best friend, because that's what helped me. My mom was my best friend, so I would tell her anything without fear, without thinking, oh, what would she say about this or about that. So having that confidence build between you and your kids is going to help your kids be successful when they go out there in the world. And the same way, if you build that spiritual life with them, then when they go out and they are far from church or far from their community, they will find a way to find that connection. For me, I had to drive 3 hours away from Vermont all the way to Boston to go to church. I didn't do it every time, but I did it when I can because my mom built that love of church within me when I was young. So it carried me all the way and got me to where I am. And I think having this spiritual life be part of us, having church, having God, having Abbas in our life helps us when we stumble. Because when you go out there in the world and you encounter some things that will make you question about yourself, question about the world, question about God, question about everything, then if you know where you can go to find that, not that, but go where you can find the answer that you're looking for, then you won't be lost, okay? So having that helped me is what I wanted to add. So I keep
That was beautiful. So I want to thank all the panelists for accepting our invitation. And one last thing I want to add is, students that are currently in high school and trying to go to colleges, these are your resource. So you can always reach out to them, right? Talk to them, exchange phone numbers, ask questions, and they can guide you and help you. That's what I want to say. I'm gonna take it to Abba, and we're gonna finish with prayer. Thank you.
አመሰግናለሁ። የኔ ጥያቄ ለየት ይላል። ወላጆች ከዚህ በፊት የላኩ ወላጆች ልጆቻቸው እንዴት አበረታተው እንደላኩና ምን ቻሌንጅ እንደገጠማቸው ለወደፊት ለምንልከው ትምህርት ቢሰጡ።
ልጆቹን ያስተማሩ ወላጆች አስተማሩ።
I think maybe Mola they can tell us something as a parent, and then we'll come around. We'll come around. And I have a big opinion from mother also. Since Professor Jalani is here, we should learn something from him. As our children growing up, being educated, going out in the world, helping others, how much is important in lifetime, and coming back in church and serving in a church too, not just to be disappeared. And they have this strong feeling, you guys are young generation kids, you should ask a question, something you feel you want to ask the professor. Since here it came all the way from airport, that's what I got pushed from there, from the parents. So do you guys have any, really want to know how Jelani becomes successful, helping others? What do you think? You guys have a question? No? So I think the parents will.
My question is to Professor John. So, as parents of young kids, toddlers and everything, so actually my first question is how much of your success was attributed by your parents or by your family? Was it influenced? Does it have any influence on you? And then also as parents of young kids, what would you say is beneficial to do in order to be able to achieve that kind of success that you have just as kids?
I want to add one question also on this. I know also Jelani fought for maths program, especially for high school. He did a lot of work to make sure the curriculum would be better for our California. And he achieved that, by the way. And I was so happy because he didn't give up. So he can tell us about his up and down
trying to help other students in a high school, especially in maths and everything. Let us tell us about. Thank you.
Okay, so I guess I'll go with your questions first. Especially since we were here at church, I feel obligated to say something about this word success. Okay, so I guess I don't view it that way. I don't think that I'm successful because I'm a professor. If I look at who Christ chose to be his disciples, they were fishermen and so forth, and had regular everyday jobs that I think are not glorified. So it just so happened that I like computer science a lot, and it just so happened that I was able to do well at it, and that led me to this job that I have. But I don't think my job is any better than anyone else's job. So it's just. So maybe I challenged even the premise of the question. But then what was the other question? There were two questions, I feel.
So as parents of toddlers, what
Yeah.
would you say is benefit? I mean, I know like success is not very clear to be like a leader or anything like that, but just generally as a toddler, what would you say is beneficial to have kids more interest in like the school system where they just have more interest in reading?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So what do you do? Like, let's say you have young children. What do you do to like help them get on the road to a good job and good school and so forth? I mean, I'm not like a parenting expert. I have 3 children. One is 6, one is 4, one is 10 months. I guess I can just I liked my childhood a lot. I thought I had a very good childhood. So if I try and look at my parents and ask, what did my parents do that I think was very positive for me? They did not, actually, in my case, I don't know if this is good or bad advice, but my parents did not pressure me to do school stuff, or they did not pressure me to do homework or anything like that. They were supportive. Like, I liked to do homework, so maybe they didn't have to pressure me because I liked to do it. Like, I remember in 4th grade, one time I took home my math workbook for the year, and I just did it over the weekend, like the whole thing. I just did my math workbook over the weekend. It was kind of a competition because I had a friend named Justin, and we were trying to see like who could finish it first, So, but yeah, I think in my case as a child, I looked at the adults who were around me. My dad is a medical doctor. His dad was a medical doctor. His mom has a doctor of education. I looked at my uncles, and they were engineers and doctors and so forth. So I think growing up, it was like kind of it was implicit. It was like, no one ever said, oh, you have to go to college, you have to go get advanced degrees. I just thought, I just looked around and everybody was doing that, so I just thought that's what you do. I thought that's like the normal thing that you're supposed to do. So it's kind of, so I benefit from that kind of implicitness in my environment. With my own children, we do try to expose them to stuff. There's this Japanese abacus thing called the soroban. So we try to turn like learning into a game. So for our daughter, we signed her up for some online class where once a week she would meet some person on Zoom and like learn Japanese abacus, which is like some mechanical device to do math. And then she got bored of it, so then we said, okay, we didn't want to force her and make her hate math or anything, so we switched her to something else, and then just have her like be exposed and try different things, and have her try different activities, like try how to learn the piano, or try to learn some ice skating or whatever, just anything to keep her learning in different ways and occupied. And I think another thing I appreciate a lot from my childhood is just like love. So it's important to just spend time with your kids and love them and be supportive of them. And again, I'm not a child psychologist or anything, but as a kid, I had my mom went to Atege Menon boarding school when she was young, and for those who know, it's in Addis. It's an all-girls boarding school. Now it's a high school. Back then it was like all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade. So she made a lot of lifelong friends growing up. And when I was born, she never told me those are her friends. She told me those are her sisters. So when I grew up as a kid, all I knew was I have like 30 aunts, you know, and I was always like, she would drop me at one aunt's house or another aunt's house, and I just felt like a very loved kid, you know, because there were so many, and I had all these cousins, like her friends, kids, and so forth. So I had a very like loving environment, and that helped me build my confidence. And so I think those things, we should not like also forget about those things. You know, it's not just having them sit in their room and do homework. Like, you want to make sure that they live like a full life and just feel confident, feel loved, and that as well. You know, so.
እንግዲህ አሁን ደግሞ የቤተሰብ ኤክስፔሪየንስ ከኬስ ሞላ እንጀምራለን። እስቲ አንድ ሁለት ነገር ይንገሩን።
ከነብዩ ከልጄ ሊጀምር እሱ ነበረ ድሮ ሲሄድ የሚያንገበግበን። ልጆች ከእናንተ ተለይተው ሲሄዱ ወደ ዓለም እንደገቡ ማወቅ አለባቸው። እስካሁን በእኛ ዙሪያ ስላሉ በቤተክርስቲያን በማንኛውም በጥሪም በምንም ከኛ እንለቃቸው። ወደዛ ሲሄዱ ግን አንደኛ አዲስ ሰው ለመልመድ ከባድ ነው። በዚህ ላይ ትምህርት ይከብዳቸዋል። በዚህ ላይ ደግሞ በአጠቃላይ የሚያገኙትም ሰው ባህሉ የተለያየ ሊሆን ይችላል እና ቢቻል እንደኔ ከሆናችሁ ማለት ነው፣ እናንተን አላውቅም፣ እንኳን ርቀውኝ ሄደው እዚህ ትምህርትም እየተማሩ በቀን 3 ጊዜ ወይ 2 ጊዜ እደውልላቸዋለሁ። ቴክስ ክላስ ሙተው ራሳቸው ክላስ ነን ስንወጣ እንደውልላለን ይላሉ። በተቻለ መጠን ፍቅር ስጧቸው። ገንዘቡንን አትሳሱ፣ እነሱንን ማግኘት ይሻላል። ብዙ ጊዜ ለበዓል ሲሆን በተወሰነ ጊዜ እነዚህ ልጆች እንዲመጡ እናደርጋለን። አስቀድመን በዓላቶችን ቆጥረን በዚህ በዓል እንድትመጡ ብለን እኛ ራሱ መንገዱን እንከተላቸው። እዛ ሲሄዱ ብዙ ችግር አለ። እንደሄዱ ደግሞ ቢያንስ ከምን አይነት ሰው ጋር ነው ሩሜት የሆኑት ብላችሁ እዩዋቸው። ተመላልሳችሁ ጠይቋቸው እስኪለምዱ ድረስ። እንደገና ደግሞ እዛ ካምፓስ ውስጥ ነው የሚመገቡት ምግብ ላይጥማቸው ይችላል። ውጭ ገዝታችሁ ብሎ እከፍልላቸዋለሁ በሏቸው። ልጆቻችን ከምናጣ ገንዘቡን ብናጣ ይሻላል። እኛ ብዙ ጊዜ የዚህ የፈረንጆቹን ባህል ለምደን አይ ቱማሽ ብር ነው ትኬት ቆርጫ ላይ እንደዚህ ያናደርግ እያል በቃ እኛም ሀገራችን እኮ እንደናንተ ተንደላቀን አላደግም፣ ጠንክራችሁ ተማሩ ብለን አንዱ ጊዜ ወደ መመለስ ጥሩ አይደለም። በየጊዜው ቸክ እናደርጋቸው፣ እንያቸው። ቢቻል ቤተክርስቲያን ውስጥ እንዲሄዱ ጥረት እናደርግ። ካልሆነ ደግሞ ቢያንስ እንኳን በዓላትን እኛም በዓላት ሳይሆን የእነዚህ የሚዘጉበትን 1 ቀን 2 ቀን ቢሆን ብቻ ደርሰው ይይዙ። እኔ አሁን ከልጄ የተማርኩት ትምህርት ምንድን ነው? በየጊዜው ትኬት እየቆረሽ ለዚህ ነው ይላታለሁ። ባባ አሁን ስማቸው ነው በቃ ገንዘቡን እኮ ጨረስኩት አለ። መምጣት ፈልጋለሁ አለች። ሁሉም ቤተሰብ ትቷቸው ሲሄዱ እነሱ እዛ ይጨንቃቸዋል። ካልሆነ ሰው ጋር ይሆኑና ሊጠፉብን ይችላሉ። እና ፍቅር እንስጣቸው፣ እንከተላቸው። እንግዲህ እግዚአብሔር አምላክ በዚህ በቤቱ ሰብስቦናል። ይሄ በቤቱ አንድ ስላደረገን ነው አሁን ለልጆቻችን የምናስበው። እዚህ ያሉ ልጆች የሁላችንም ልጆች ናቸው እና የሚቻለውን ነገር ሁሉ ጥረት እናድርግ። እኔ አምላኬን የማመሰግነው ሕዝቅያስን፣ ኑሐሚንን ኤሌመንተሪም ይሁን ሃይስኩልም ይሁን ሲጽፍላቸው ሲደውልላቸው ይመልሱልኛል። እግዚአብሔር ይስጣቸው። ራበን ሲሉ እንኳን የማይፈልጉ ከሆነ የትምህርት ቤቱ ምግብ ከውጭ ገዝቼላቸው እሄዳለሁ። እኔን ይራበኝ እነሱን ከሚርባቸው፣ እኔን ይክፋኝ እነሱን ከሚከፋቸው። ያንንን በጊዜው በአሁኑ እናሳያቸው። ልጆቻችን ታመው ያልሆነ መጥፎ ነገር ውስጥ ገብተው ስናለቅስ ከምንኖር አሁኑኑ ጥሩ አድርገን እንያዛቸው። በቃ ቢያጠፉ ቢያስቀይሙ እንኳን እንቻላቸው። ከትምህርት ቤት እኮ እዛ በጣም ቡል የሚያደርጓቸው መጥፎ ተማሪዎች አሉ። እነሱ የቤተክርስቲያን ልጆች ናቸው። አንገታቸውን ደፍተው ስለሚሄዱ እነዚህ ልጆች እንደ መጥፎ ስለሚያዩዋቸው እነሱንን እንዲመስሏቸው በግድ ይጎትቷቸዋል። ያንን ደግሞ እንዳይገቡኛ ደግሞ በተቻለ የምንችለውን ነገር ሁሉ እናድርግላቸው። ኢትዮጵያ አይሮፕላን ከምንገዛ፣ መኪና ከምንገዛ፣ ቤት ከምንገዛ ልጆቻችንን በደንብ አድርገን ጥሩ አድርገን እዚህ እንገባቸው፣ ጥሩ አድርገን እንከታተላቸው። በተቻለ የምንችለውን በሙሉ እናድርግላቸው። እግዚአብሔር ይርዳል። የፍቅር አምላክ እነሱን ይጠብቅልን። የእናንተም ልጆች የእኛም ልጆች ክፉ ሊደርስባቸው ስለማንፈልግ የቸገረ ይቸግራችሁ፣ ባሉበት ትኬት ቆርጣችሁ ሄዳችሁ አጫውቷቸው። አደራ ለአንድ ቀንና ለሁለት ቀን ወርወራችሁ ዝም አትበሏቸው። ለዓመት በዓል ደግሞ መምጣት እየፈለጉ ገንዘቡ በዛ ብላቸው አትበሏቸው። የፈለገ ይቆረጥ ይምጡ ከኛ ጋራ ቢያንስ እንኳን ባይበሉም ባይጠጡም እክፍል ቤት ውስጥ ይቀመጡ እና ይህንን ፍቅር አሳዩቸው ነው የሚል። እንግዲህ እስካሁን ድረስ ኑሐሚን ጥሩ ደረጃ ደርሳለች። እስቅያስም እግዚአብሔር አምላክ ጥሩ ደረጃ እንዲደርስልኝ እግዚአብሔር የምለምነዋለሁ። ሳልሞት ደግሞ ደስታቸው እንዲያሳየኝ ይፈልጋለሁ። እግዚአብሔር ይጠብቃል።
እንግዲህ ፕሮግራማችን ሳምንት ትንሽ እየሄደ ስለሆነ በዚህ የሚጠቀልል ነው የሚሆነው። ከተጠየቀው ጥያቄ ግን ቤተሰብ ላሉት ግን እሺ አንድ ሰው እድል ካለ እስቲ ያሉ አባታችን ከቤተሰብ ሳይድ መናገር የሚፈልግ ሰው ካለ በጠየቀው ጥያቄ ተይዞ ማለት ነው ለሱ እድል ካለ እንሰጣለን። ሰው ያለ አይመስለኝም ማለት ይመስለኛል። በቃ እግዚአብሔር ይስጥልን። በዚህ ጨርስ። ለወደፊት ደግሞ እንግዲህ ከእናንተ የተለያዩ ኮሜንቶች ወስደን በተሻለ መድረክ ደግሞ እንደምንመጣ ተስፋ እናደርጋለን። ለወደፊቱ ደግሞ ቤተሰብን ያጠቃለለ ፕሮግራም እንደምንሰራ እንግዲህ በክፍሉ ስም ቃል እየገባሁ ወደ አባታችን ወስደን ነው።
እንደምን ቆያችሁ? ትንሽ ደከም ብሎናል። አንድ ምስጋናና አንድ ማሳሰቢያ ብቻ ነው። ምስጋናው በቤተ ክርስቲያን ውስጥ የተቋቋመው የትምህርት ክፍል ይባላል። የትምህርት ክፍል ኮሚቴዎች ከጀርባ የማይታዩ አሉ፣ ከፊት ለፊት ያሉም አሉ። ቀሲስ ዳንኤል አጋጣሚ ዛሬ ሌላ ቦታ ሄደው ነው፣ እሳቸው ተወሳኝ ናቸው። ቀሲስ ነብዩ እነ ማራማዊት እነ ቴዲ እና ሌሎችም አብረው ከወጣቶችም አሉበት። እነዚህ ሆነው ይህንን የመጀመሪያ ይህን የመሳሰለ ጥናታዊ የበሰለ አስተማሪ የሆነ ነገር አዘጋጅተዋል እና ይህን ስላደረጉልን አንድ ጊዜ ቁማቸው አመስግናቸው። አንድ እግዚአብሔር ይስጥልን። መባረክ በሉ። ክብር ልንሰጣቸው ለንመለስ መባረክ በሉ። እዚህ ጋር ደግሞ ፊት ለፊታችን ያሉ የተመረቁ ቤተሰብ ያላቸው የቀሲስ ነብዩ ባለቤት ለምን ማስተርሷን እንደደበቀች አልገባኝም። ባችለር ተናገረሽ ማስተሯን ብቻ የመጀመሪያ ዲግሪዋን የተናገረችው በዚህ መታ በቤተሰብ ይዛ ልጅ እያሳደገች ማስተርሷን ሰርታ እንዲያውም ጥሪው ገብቻለሁ እና ቤተሰብም ይዞ ትምህርት መቀጠል ይቻላል። ቤተሰብ ላይ ያላቸው ሰዎች እንደ መቀጠል እንደሚቻል ነው እና ይሄ ከተማሪዎች ጀምረው ከነ ራይል ከሁለቱ ዲያቆናት ልጆቻችን እነ ይዲያ ሌሎቹም የተመረቁት እዚህ ጋር መጥተው ልምዳቸውን ስላካፈሉን አብረው ስለቆዩ በጣም ብዙ ጊዜ ወስደው ተዘጋጅተው መጥተው ስላስተማሩን ሀሳብ ስለሰጡን ለእነሱም እናመሰግናቸዋለን። ከዛ በተረፈ ይሄ አሁን ዛሬ በትምህርት ዙሪያ እኔ አሁንም ማሳስባችሁ ኮሚቴ ሊቀያየር ይችላል። በየጊዜው ይቀያየር የለ ምርጫ ወደፊት ሌሎችም ሰዎች ሊመጡ ይችላሉ። እንደ ትምህርት ክፍል ግን ማሳስበው ሁልጊዜ ይሄ ዓመታዊ ስለሆነ ሁሉም ተማሪዎች የሚመጡበት ሰዓት ስለሆነ ይችን ዓመት ተይዛ ፕሮግራም ተይዛ ቀኑ ሐምሌም ኦገስት ምናምን ሊሆን ይችላል። ጁላይ የሆነ ቦታ ላይ አማካይ ቀን ተይዛ ሁልጊዜ በየዓመቱ ይሄ እንዲደረግ ቋሚ ተደርጎ እንደ ፕሮግራም ብያዝ ይሄ አንዱ ማሳሰቢያ ነው። ሌላ ሁለተኛው ደግሞ ከዚህ ባሻገር ብዙ ጉዳዮች አሉ። እኛ ከኢትዮጵያ መጥተን እዚህ ነው የምንኖረው እና እኛ ራሱ የሀገሩ ሲስተም አልለመድነውም። ብዙ ነገሮች ያስፈልጉናል እንደ ማህበራዊ ኑሮ ክፍልና ወደፊት እንዴት ቤት መስራት እንደሚቻል ሁልጊዜ በኪራይ ቤት መኖር የለብን ማለት በማህበር ሊሆን ይችላል ተደራጅቶ መንግስትን ጠይቆ በሆነ መንገድ ሊኖር ይችላል ሳፍራስቶ የሆነ ነገር እንደነበር ሰምቻለሁ እና እዚህ ከተማ ውስጥ ራሱ ተደራጅቶ እኮ ቦታ ወስዶ ከመንግስት ተበድሮ ቤት አፓርታማ ሁሉም አበሻን ሊሰራ ይችላል ናት ኦንሊ ኢን ሚካኤል ሁሉም ኢየሱስ የመድኃኒዓለም እና እንደዚህ ነገር ከፍ ያለ የራሳችን ኮምፓውንድ የራሳችን ቤትም እሱንም ጥናት እየተደረገ አንድ ሌላው ደግሞ በቤተሰብ ጉዳይ ስለ ትዳር ያላቸው ደጭ ጓይ የሚሉ እንደገና ደግሞ ረጅም ጊዜ በትዳር ውስጥ ያሉ ሰዎች ኤክስፔሪንሳቸውን በደንብ ልምዳቸውን እንዴት እንደኖሩ እንዴት ፈተናዎች እንደሚቋቋሙ የትዳር የኑሮ የቤተሰብ እሱንም እንደገና አሁን ልጆች እየመጡ ነው እና እየተማሩ ነው ሃይስኩል ጨረሱ ኮሌጅ ሄዱ ተመለሱ ወደ ትዳር ደግሞ መግባት አለ ስለዚህ ወጣት ተጋቢዎች እንደው እንዴት ሆኖ እንደተዋወቁ በኢትዮጵያ ስታይል ይታወቃል በኢትዮጵያ ያለው እዚህ ሀገር ደግሞ እንዴት አድርገው ነው ወጣቶች ወንዶች ሚስት የሚያገኙት እንዴት አድርገው ነው ሴቶች ወጣቶች ባል የሚያገኙት በምን መንገድ እንዴት መንገዱ ፌስቡክ ምናምን ብቻ ሳይሆን ብዙ ሰው አያገኙም እና ይህንኑ ነገር በግልጽ የሚወያዩበትና መጥፎ ነገር ውስጥ ሳይገቡ ከሃይማኖታቸው ሳይወጡ በራሳቸው መንገድ ወደፊት ፋሚሊ እንዴት ሳልሽ እንደሚያጥሩ ቤተሰብ እንደሚመሰረቱ የልምድ ልውውጥ ምክክር እሱን ሁሉ ማድረግ ያስፈልጋልና ብዙ ነገሮች አሉ የምንወያይባቸው የጤና ጉዳይ ሌሎች እና ቢያንስ በ3 ወር አንዴ እንደዚህ ውስጥ መንፈሳዊ ነገር እንማማራለን የሃይማኖት እዚህ ደግሞ ማህበራዊ ሆኖ የሚያጠነክረን የሚያበረታንን በምጣኔ ሀብትም በኢኮኖሚ በእውቀትም እንደዚህ የተለያየ ነገር ጠንካራ ኮሚኒቲ የሚያደርገንን ነገር እየተመካከርን እንደ ከቤተ ክርስቲያን ባሻገር እንደ የጁ ኮሚኒቲዎች አሉ የግብፅ ኦርቶዶክስ ቤተክርስቲያኖች አሉ ከኛ እንደዚህ ነው የመጡት በጣም ጠንካሮች ናቸው በጣም እና መሆን እንችላለን ልጆቻችን ከኛ እያዩ ወደፊት እኛ ስናል የበለጠ እያጠነከሩ ጠንካራ ሁሉንም ነገር በቤተ ክርስቲያን ውስጥ የሚያገኝ ትውልድ ይሆናል ወደፊት ከሚካኤል አልፈን ደግሞ በኦክላንድ ደረጃ ከኢየሱስም ከመድኃኒት ከሌሎችም እየተነጋገርን አንድ የሆነ ትልቅ ኮሚኒቲ ፈጥረን በጣም ጠንካራ ብዙ ነገሮችን ማድረግ እንችላለን እና ይህንን ማድረግ በመጨረሻ የምናገረው አንድ ልጅ ከኢትዮጵያ የመጣች ሰምታችኋታል በመንግስት ምርጫ ኮሌጅ ገባች 2 ትምህርቷን አማራጭ ማግኘት ጨረሰች በብዙ ውጣ ውረድ ከዛ ሄደች እና ከዛ በኋላ ምን ያህል ኢትዮጵያ ያሉ ወገኖቻችን ለመማር ምን ያህል ከባድ እንደሆነ ተምረው ሲጨርሱ ስራ ለማግኘት ምን ያህል ከባድ እንደሆነ እና የሆነ ነገር አስብ ውስጥ እግዚአብሔር ይረዳችኋል የሆነ ነገር ሲክሬት አድርጉ እንዴት ነው ሰው ከችግር የሚወጣ አሁን ፕሮፌሰር ለቃዞላዝ ፕሮፌሰር ጆላኒ is doing to help that community in Ethiopia እና እንደዚህ ስለሚሆን እስኪ አንዳንድ ነገር ስትማሩ ሪሰርች አድርጉ እስኪ ምንድን ነው ለሀገራችን የሚጠቅመው ነገር ምን ነገር ልንሰራ እንችላለን የሆነ ሲስተም ነው ሁሉንም ይቀይረው አይደል እና አንዳንድ ነገር እዛ ያለውን ነገር ሀገራችን ሰላም ሆኖ ምንም ስንከፍት ስለ ሀገራችን ሰላም የምንሰራበት ጥሩ ነገር የምንሰራበትን ነገር ፓርቲስፔት የራሳችንም ተሳትፎ ብናደርግ እኛ አንተኛ ሁሉ ጊዜ ዝም ብለን እንዲሁ እየዋሸን ነው ራሳችን ያለ ነው እንጂ እረፍት አይሰጠን እና እዚህ ተወላችሁ ያደጋችሁ ወይም በህፃንነታችሁ የመጣችሁ ብዙ ነገር እንትን ላይ ያላችሁ ይችላል እና ስለዚህ ያንን ነገር እንዳንረሳ በጸሎትም በሀሳብም በሁሉም ነገር ሀገራችንን እንዳንረሳ የምንችለው ነገ ኢትዮጵያ ሄደን ሀገራችን ሄደን ብዙ ነገር ልንሰራ እንችላለን። የታለም ዲያቆን ዳንኤል ኢትዮጵያ ሄጄ ነው የምሰራው አለ ሲባል ሰምቻለሁ። እዛ ሄጄ እሰራለሁ። ብዙ ሳክሪፋይስ እንደሚያስከፍል ይታወቃል። ግን የሆነ ጊዜ እንዲሉ መስራት የሆነ ጊዜ ማድረግ እና ባይሳካ እንደ ንጉሱ ዳዊት በእኛ ጊዜ የሚለወጥ ነገር ባይኖርም እኛን ጀምረዋለን፣ ሌላው ትውልድ ሊሰራው ይችላል እና እዚህ ያሉ እስራኤሎች ናቸው ሀገራቸውን እንዴት እንደሚሰሩ ታውቃላችሁ። በውጭ ሀገር የሚኖሩ ህንዶች ናቸው ሀገራቸውን እንዴት እንደሚሰሩ እንሰማለን እና እኛ እዚህ እንለዋለን፣ ግን ደግሞ እዛ ያለውን ማህበረሰብ መርዳት እንዳለብን አንድ ገንዘብ ስላገኘን ኑሮ ስለተመቸን ብቻ ቁጭ የምንልበት ጉዳይ ስላልሆነ ጦርነት ሳይሆን ጥይት መግዛት ምናምን ሳይሆን ሲስተም እንስራ የሆነ ነገር ከዛ ነገር ሊያወጣ የሚችል ነገር እኛ ጦርነት መደገፍ ጦርነት መቃወም እሱ ምንም ይሄ በጣም ያረጀ የሆነ ቀረ ሲስተም ላይ መስራት አለበት። ትውልድ ሳይሞት ሰው ሳይራ ሳይቸገር ሰርቶ ተለውጦ ራሱን ሌላውን የሚረዳበትን ነገር እንችላለን። በቃ አልችልም አትበሉ። የሆነ ነገር ማድረግ እንችላለን። ልጆች ጥናት አድርጉ። ስለ ኢትዮጵያ ብታጠኑ ብዙ ነገር ልናደርግ እንችላለን እና እኔ ይሄ በጣም የማነው ስምሽ ዮርዳኖስ እሷ የሄደችበት መንገድ በእንደዛ እሷ እንዳጋጣሚ መጣች። ግን አሁን ቢሆን እዛ ያለው ጓደኞች አሏት የሚማሩ ልጆች አሉ እና ብዙ ነገር ስላለ ብዙ ሰው ከ90 በላይ ከ80% በላይ ተማሪ አይማርም። በቃ ወይ ወጣቱ ክላሽ ይዞ ጦርነት ጋር ወይም ደግሞ መማር ስለማይችል በየቤቱ ነው ያለው። የእኛ ቤተሰቦች ስለሆኑ የእኛ አካል ስለሆነ ዲናይ ልናደርጋቸው አንችልም እና ስም ሁሉ እያሰብን እዚህ ጠንካራ እንሁን፣ እንበርታ። ጥሩ ነው የተያዘው ነገር በጥሩ ሁኔታ እየሄድን ነው። እንግዲህ እኔ እዚህ ከመጣሁኝ የራሳችን ቤተክርስቲያን ከገዛን በኋላ ልጆቹ አሁን ጥሩ በቃ እየሄደ ነው። አሁን እኮ ቀሲስ ነብዩ የዛሬ ስንት ዓመት አይዋይ ተማሪ ነበሩ። ልክ እንደነ አልዓዛር እንደነ ዮናስ የዛሬ 5-6 ዓመት እኮ እነዚህ ልጆች ተመርቀው መጥተው የነ ቀሲስ ነብዩን ቦታ ይዘው እነ ቀሲስ ነብዩ ደግሞ ከፍ ይላሉ ማለት ነው። ከዛ ደግሞ ከታች ያሉ ልጆች አሉ። ደግሞ ከታች ያሉት ደግሞ እንደዚህ ይሄዳሉ። አያችሁ ትሬንዱን ተመልከቱት እንዴት እየሄደ እንደሆነ እና ቤተ መቅደሱ ሰላም ነው፣ አገልግሎቱ ሰላም ነው። ስለዚህ እግዚአብሔር የምናቀረውን አገልግሎት ይባርካል ማለት ነው። የምናሰጠው አገልግሎት ወደ እኛው ይመለሳል ማለት ነው። እኛን እያስደሰተን እረፍት እየሰጠን ተስፋ እየሰጠን ቁጭ ብለን እንዲያውም የበለጠ ለመስራት አሁን ትርፍ ነገር ብዙ ነገር ለመስራት ይገለጻል። ከዚህ የበለጠ እንሰራለን። ልጆቻችን ከዚህ የበለጠ አሁን ዛሬ በያዙት ነገር የበለጠ ይሰራሉ። ይህ አዳራሽ ሰርተነዋል። እድሜ ለነ ቢንያምና እነ ሚኪ ሌሎችም ለነ አሌክስ ሌሎችም ከጀርባ ያሉት እነ ቴዲ አብረው ያሉ ናቸው። በዛ ኮምፒውተር ሰርተውልናል። ግን መሟላት ያለበት ነገር አለ። አሁን ዛሬ እዚህ ጋር ስክሪን ቢኖር ፕሮጀክተር ቢኖር ተናጋሪ ይኖራል፣ ተናጋሪ ጽሑፍ ይቀርባል። እንግዲህ ነገሮች ሁሉ ስለሚኖሩ አንዳንድ ቬንቲሌተሮችን ብሮችን እናሟላለን። እሱን እናደርጋለን። ሰዓትም እንወስናለን። በቃ አንድ ሰው የሚናገርበት ደቂቃ ፕሮግራም መሪው ጥያቄ ሲጠየቅ መልስ የሚሰጥ በቃ 2 ደቂቃ ከሆነ 3 ደቂቃ ከሆነ 5 ደቂቃ ከሆነ ያ ምን ይሆናል ማለት ነው? ቦሪንግ አንሆን እንትን ነው። በደንብ ጊዜው እንጠቀማለን እና ጥሩ ነገሮች ነው እና ዝም ብሎ ሲለቀቅ ተማሪውን እሱንም እየተማርን ማለት ነው። ይሄ መጀመሪያ እንዲህ እያልን እንሄዳለን። ትምህርት ሁሉ ይዘን እንዲይዝልን እንፈልጋለን። የመጨረሻ ህፃናት፣ ወጣቶች በትምህርት ክፍል ውስጥ እንዲካተቱ አሁን አንድ መስለኛል ያው ሩት መሀል ላይ ናት፣ ወደዛ ገብታለች። አሁን ዲያቆን እስቅያስ አለ፣ ሌሎችም እያሉ ይቀጥላሉ በትምህርት ክፍል ውስጥ እና ሞር ልጆች እኛ ልጅ እንዳይመስሉ ብዙ ያውቃሉ። ልጆችም ደግሞ ማካተት ካስፈለገ የልጆች በልጆች በኩል የሚሰራ ነገር በእንግሊዝኛ በኩል አሁን እንግዲህ በአማርኛው ፕሮዱስ እያደረግን ነው አይደለም፣ እንትን እያደረግን ነው፣ መሀል ወጣ ገብ እያደረግን ነው። በእነሱም በኩል ሊጠና የሚችል አድርገን ወደፊት የሚመጣውን ትውልድ ከአሁኑ ማሰብ እንድንችል ዛሬ 50 ዓመት የዛሬ 20 ዓመት ለምትመጣዋ ቤተክርስቲያን ለሚመጣው ትውልድ የሚመች አገልግሎት ዛሬ መስራት እንችላለን። ጊዜያችንን ስለሰጠን እናመሰግናለን። የሰማነውን ሁሉ በረከት ያደርግልን፣ አገልጋዮችን ይጠብቅልን። አባታችን ማለት ነው ባታችን እመቤታችን ቅድስት ድንግል ማርያም ሆይ መልአኩ በቅዱስ ገብርኤል ሰላምታ ሰላም እንልሻለን። በሐሳብሽ ድንግል ነሽ፣ በሥጋሽም ድንግል ነሽ። የአሸናፊ እግዚአብሔር እናት ሆይ ሰላምታ ላንቺ ይገባሻል። ከሴቶች ሁሉ ተለይተሽ አንቺ የተባረክሽ ነሽ፣ የማኅፀንሽ ፍሬ የተባረከ ነው። ጸጋን የተመላሽ ቅድስት ሆይ ደስ ይበልሽ፣
እግዚአብሔር ከአንቺ ጋር ነውና ከተወደደው ልጅሽ ከጌታችን ከመድኃኒታችን ከኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ዘንድ ይቅርታንና ምሕረትን ለምኝልን ኃጢአታችንን ይቅር ይበለን ለዘላለሙ አሜን።
አቤቱ ጌታ ኢየሱስ ክርስቶስ ሆይ የኔንም የወገኖችንም በደላቸውን ይቅር በል። የማይሰራ ኃጢአት እግዚአብሔር ይፍታ። ሰላም ዋሉ። ስለመጣችሁ እናመሰግናለን።